I can't resist her. No stringy hair, blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, buttermilk complexion, grafted, recessive, depressive, ironing board, backside, straight up, straight down, no frills, no thrills, miss 6 o'clock. Subject to have the itch, mutanoid, caucasoid, white cave bitch. Yeah, what? Yeah, check it out one time for the hand. Check it out. Here's a fool about the sunny named Renee. Here's a fool about the sunny named Renee. The plane is hyped up.
This is a journey into sound. This is a journey into sound. A journey which along the way will bring to you new color, new dimension, new value. When all is ready, I throw this switch. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume. Don't that thing. Interrupt this broadcast for you with special news bulletin from our on-the-spot platform.
Oh my God. The news just changed.
Good evening, America. This is your president. Please listen carefully to the announcement I'm about to make. After careful consideration and research, Vice President Duke, Congress, and myself have concluded that black people have not advanced technologically. Their educational testing scores are on a rapid decline. The vast majority of them are on welfare and producing babies at a faster rate than they can support them, and we will not carry them anymore. We are left with no other choice but to put slavery back into effect. All blacks will report to the designated camps in their areas to receive further orders. The only blacks excused will be those serving in the United States military and the police. Any blacks who do not cooperate will be terminated immediately. I repeat, slavery is wrong.
Welcome to your higher consciousness. You have now ascended to your divine path. Feel good, right? That's your originality. Now, I see that it's different up here. Inhale. Exhale. As never-ending electromagnetic energy direct from the source, you now must decide what your role in the community is. You can join us, or you can allow the parasite inside you to decompose your vessel. What's the matter? It's your exchange. That alone will develop all it can before itself ceases to draw.
You know, I gotta get away. Get away, and I know that I won't have to stay. Don't name me pain, because this name is my name. I can never really go out. People always shout, because they recognize me die. Paralyzed, and start this life to me. So when the science don't breathe, they'll be bleeding, burning, itching, yearning. But I didn't know that. Capability, that knowledge of your trees, listen from your feet. Shoot at the soles of your feet, shooting stars, that deep. Souls on their reach to salvation, hatred for a nation, name constellation, captain concentration, doctor cross the Holocaust, normalize solution, process they word, one diet, we would say right, high home, and say left, right, don't and they best, white bones, that you just homegrown and best. So you know you gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. You gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better protect yourself. Take me to the moon. On my enemy's face, they don't fuck you too. If you try to penetrate my crew, shout out features and rap too. Fuck round, fuck round, get smoked. If you mess me, if you mess God, I mean the end, I flow. DJ in y'all mess, I only good job. They eating her and they for that ride. Now clap, oh, man, my God, black, aboriginal man. Bounce, stay, bounce, stay, bounce, down, brown and neighbors, and I heard me, that shit is within. Sit back and relax, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. You gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better protect yourself.
Recognize, don't be reckless. Medusa, I maneuver, leave you headless. And I be laying hexes and shit you wasn't expecting. Slip into your thoughts, know your heart, know your essence. A nigga mind done a lot. Time shot, ticket tripping with the time zone. System go, should consider we just mobbing metal pros. Ain't too pros, but a bitch will be divine by design. Read the line in the script.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. You gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. You gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. You better protect yourself.
Some black people who are like that, and we know that, cross-dressers and all like that. I mean, it's always been. Say, but that's not going to become the general rule. I said, oh, yeah, you think not? And they said, well, Bull has gone off deep end. I mean, he gets carried away sometimes with his reasoning and with his, and I said, well, lots of things that they have said would not happen have happened all down through the history of the system of white supremacy. I said they are moving into the refined stage where the price of doing the business of white supremacy is getting more difficult, which means they're going to come up with more and more ideas that even when black people are well fed and well housed, they will be like prima donna dogs. Because, after all, the white supremacists feed their dogs well. I mean, and take care of them. Pet them. Right. Dress them up sometimes in fancy clothing. Have show dogs. They're still dogs. Lots of bling bling for the dog. The dog is still a dog. Doesn't have a mind. It goes into the realm of what you call a human being. Get away from that. Do not let a nigger become a human being, ever. You can do this by messing with his mind. So he doesn't have any humane characteristics at all. You might come across as a pedigreed animal who's very docile, who's very cooperative, who's highly trained. But that's what a nigger's supposed to be. So let him have a mind of his own, where he thinks about anything constructive. As long as it's non-constructive, oh yeah, that's what it's all about when it comes to those people. But let them get off and start doing anything constructive, particularly on their own, that's not under your tutelage. I'm saying they become dangerous. They supremacy. I'm supposed to be the world God, the God of this section of the universe. I have eminent domain. I'm a white supremacist over all creatures in the form of people or whatever, and all things. For what purpose? Makes me feel good. That's the purpose. I like feeling powerful. No, but I kind of figured it was coming, and just the styles and whatnot, you know, the tight pants or no pockets. You don't need pockets. I mean, if you're not going to be carrying anything. And, you know, the flare trousers and whatnot with the high heels and the big pink hat. And, you know, and the long hair like we still have. I mean, we go and get weaves and whatnot for no apparent reason. Spend big money. Hour after hour. And what message is that supposed to be sending? See, when you do things with your hair, you're sending a message. Now, black people, we just do things. We don't have a reason for doing anything that we do, except, well, we'll say if someone asks us, we say it's a style. A style for what? You know, even styles have purposes. So what are you doing? What are you spending all this time for? I mean, you know, and they even call it an industry. What's industrious about it? I mean, it's not producing anything. It's not putting food on the table, anything. All it's doing is greasing up the pillows. And it's not anything new. You know, the white supremacists always said, well, you know, don't let black people try to put anything in their heads, but have them worrying about their hair all the time. Make that a priority. Call it a hair industry. And, we'll even fund a few of them. I mean, you know, and make them famous. Allow them to become famous, fooling with black people's hair. Because, you know, hair is just hair. Like fingernails and whatnot. If you just want to sit around and polish them all day, look at them, hold them up to the mirror, you know, and can't touch anything on account of your fingernails might, you know, might lose their sheen or something. So therefore you can't do anything. I mean, you can't do anything with your hands. You know, it's like wearing handcuffs now. Kind of, you're going to ruin your fingernails. So you think they'll go for this? Oh, black people will go for anything. Anything that we throw on them, they'll go for it. They'll grab it in a minute. Particularly if it doesn't make. That's the way their minds work. They're wired that way. They're born that way. They can't think outside of that. And we buy into it. And it needs to be codified in the stops where we ask questions about everything. Everything new that suddenly appears on the horizon. We should stop and say, wait a minute, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? Whose idea is this? Is this anything that we need? That's the key question. Is this anything that we need? Is this anything that I need, that I have to have? Because if it isn't, it came from someone else, it's not your idea. And even if it is your idea, you should say, is this anything that I need? It's a mechanical thing. It's a codified thing. It's logic. Everything is based on logic, cause and effect. What is this going to do for me? Is it going to do anything for me? Is it going to do anything for anybody that is of constructive value? Or is this just another stupid activity that we are famous for? That's all we have to ask. Every time anybody proposes anything, what's going to be the effect? That's what you ask. Oh,
the effect? And is that effect going to be constructive? And if so, how? What is it going to produce that's going to solve a problem? Because everything should be about problem solving. Now, what problem is this going to solve? This proposal that we're having this meeting for. Everybody crowding around, taking the podium. What problem is this going to solve? Can anybody answer that? Because we got thousands of problems out here. Now, it's just which one of these problems is it going to solve? One or two problems of any kind. Name it. And if nobody can answer, take that off.
All right, PTC family, welcome to the Rundown with Renee. I'm your hostess, Renee. And we're in here, we back tonight. I didn't do a show on Sunday. But yeah, a lot of stuff went down Sunday. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to get in here because I had like a little couple last minute things I had to go do. So, over here, I see my people already on the line. We bring them in. I see it's already a lot of people in here. So I'm just going to say, if you think you want to contribute to the conversation tonight, make sure that you go ahead and press 1, and I will definitely get to you. If you're on the phone lines, if you're listening online or listening by YouTube, and you want to contribute to the conversation, you have to call in to do so. The call-in number is 319-527-6058. 319-527-6058, and press 1. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to get up in here. All right. We got Sister Maya. We got Sister Nikki. And we got Psycho in the house. Peace, y'all. How y'all doing?
Peace and Black Power.
Black Power. Yes, Black Power. Yes, we ready to run it down with Sister Renee. What do y'all think? You said what now, sis? I said we ready to run it down with Sister Renee. So let's just get busy. Hey, okay. All right, y'all. Let's start here, okay? Because I know the conversation, the topic tonight. Oh, before we do that, Psycho, you want to go ahead?
Oh yeah, peace to the family. We live streaming on YouTube. Everybody, you can find me on SYKOPATHeist. That's SYKOPATHEIST. Psykopathiest.
All right. So yeah, you can go on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. And also, you can chat if you go on the YouTube feed. And give your opinions on what's being discussed or what have you. If you don't want to call in to do so. Okay. Oh yeah. Also on the flyer, if you saw the flyer, that's the information on there as well for the YouTube. Now let's get into it, y'all, because I know the patriarchy versus matriarchy conversation, what's best for our people. I know that's going to be, a juicy one to get to. But before we do that, I want to get into this, trending topic, this big story that originated on. That originated on Sunday, which was Easter for those who celebrate that or whatever. It was on Easter Sunday, and what happened is there was this guy on Facebook Live. Most people know about this now. His name was Stevens. Interesting, but I think a 37-year-old black man who supposedly snapped out and lost it. I've heard different things, supposedly because of issues. He was upset with his mother and his girlfriend. There's somebody else that's on about he was supposed to be gay or something, or homosexual. I don't like the term woman by the name of Joy Lane. Okay. Anyway, so now let me start out by saying this, okay? Because I'm not trying to offend anyone. It was a very, horrific thing. In a horrific situation. If it were real, if it's not, it's still, disgusting either way. But the thing about it is, I am definitely a skeptic, so I'm going to go ahead and put that out there now. I know some other people out of the family are not, and they, feel a way about it. So I'm not seeking to offend anyone, and we can give all different perspectives on this. But with this issue, I'm going to point out to you why I think this has absolutely been staged. But let me finish giving the initial details, and then we can go around. Y'all tell me what y'all think on this issue. But so the original situation, like I said, Easter Sunday, he was having issues, whatever, with his mom and with his girlfriend. Supposedly he was so outraged and so upset, and he snapped, that he went out, and I think he was at work that day or had work that day. I'm not sure, but he had on his work badge, and he mentions that in one of the videos. And so he goes and randomly he's driving down the street and sees an older gentleman walking down the street, and he stops and just pulls up on him and tells him to repeat the name Joy Lane, and then it appears as if he shoots the man, killing him. And he gets back in the car and he's like, yeah, you did this, you're the reason I did this, you're the reason that man had to die, et cetera, et cetera. And he also says that he's killed 13 other people. So he's killed 14 people total. And again, he just was saying that he snapped. Because every time he tried to talk to somebody, they don't want to listen. This is what he's saying, after he supposedly killed all these people. Now, then it was supposed to be a manhunt, okay? And he couldn't be found until recently. I'm going to read y'all the update on this story right now. And this has been the last thing to come out. This is from the New York Times. This came out about 50 minutes ago. And it said, hunt for Facebook killer ends with McDonald's sighting and a suicide. Interesting. 2 days after an extraordinary crime, a murder that the killer recorded on video and posted to Facebook, it was a hankering for something as reassuringly normal as a McDonald's meal that tripped him up on Tuesday. When a manhunt ended with a trip to the manhunt ended with a tip to the police, a brief chase, and the gunman's suicide, the search for Steve W. Stevens had spread across a wide area of the country, with apparently false sightings reported in eastern Pennsylvania, Maryland, Indiana, Michigan, and even Texas. But he ended his life near Erie, Pennsylvania, about 100 miles from Cleveland, where on Sunday he walked up to a stranger, Robert Godwin Sr., fatally shot him, and then posted the video for the world to see. Driving a white Ford Fusion sedan, a white Ford, interesting. Mr. Stevens, 37, pulled into the drive-through lane of a McDonald's on Buffalo Road around 11 a.m. and bought a 20-piece order of chicken McNuggets and a large order of fries for $5.35. Henry Sayers, the restaurant manager, said in the interview. After a worker recognized Mr. Stevens, the restaurant staff tried to stall him by holding on to his fries while calling the police. But he just took his nuggets and said, I have to go. And he drove off. Mr. Sayers said, adding that Mr. Stevens did not speed away, but left the restaurant in a normal clip. Pennsylvania State Police troopers, joined by officers of the borough of Westville, chased Mr. Stevens westbound for about a mile along Buffalo Road, the state police said. In front of an abandoned school, a state trooper bumped his car against the rear corner of Mr. Stevens' car, just behind an abandoned school. Interesting. In a technique called a pit maneuver that is designed to force a suspect to lose control. As his car spun to a stop, Stevens pulled a pistol and shot himself in the head. The state police said in a statement on Facebook, the killing of Mr. Godwin, 74, and the resulting video widely viewed before being removed from Facebook set off outrage
outraged and renewed questions about how the social media giant polices violent and offensive content. The suicide of the gunman, who had no criminal record, left investigators with no ready explanation for the story. In his video, he said he was looking for someone to kill and settled on Mr. Godwin apparently at random. He demanded that his victim say the name of Mr. Stevens' girlfriend and added, "She's the reason this is about to happen to you." In another video he posted, he said that he killed multiple people, but the police said there was only one known victim. He later spoke with the police by phone. Although officials have not revealed what was said. We would like to have talked to Steve and peacefully and really talk to him and find out exactly why this happened. Because there might be other people out there in similar situations that we can help. Say Calvin D. Williams, the Cleveland police chief. The killing and Mr. Stevens' flight set off intense news coverage, widespread fear, and advanced hunt involving the FBI, the United States Marshal Service, and several state and local police agencies. Investigators had picked up a ping from his cell phone near Erie on Sunday and had searched the area without success, Chief Williams said. One impulse to show Mr. Stevens' face and name appeared on digital billboards across the country. A $50,000 reward was offered, and the police received nearly 400 tips from people claiming to have information about him. Several schools in Philadelphia were placed on lockdown on Monday after the police received multiple reports that he had been spotted at a park. The police said on Twitter that there was no indication he was in the area, and on Tuesday, the Baltimore Police Department on Twitter debunked reports of sightings there as unfounded. Mr. Stevens had worked since 2008 without any disciplinary problems at Beachbrook, a behavioral health agency that serves children. The organization said all 270 employees there were notified on Sunday night to stay home on Monday, said Nancy Quartermeyer, a spokeswoman for the agency. At Beachbrook's 70-acre headquarters campus in Pepper Pike, a Cleveland suburb, and at a family drop-in center in Cleveland, the police did a walkthrough to make sure he was not there, she said. Upon learning of Mr. Stevens' suicide, there was a mixture of sadness and relief in the organization, Ms. Quartermeyer said. Debbie Godwin, one of the victim's 6 daughters, said in the interview, "We are not happy about the outcome because we would have preferred that he turned himself in and paid the penalty for taking my father's life. We forgave him." Let me say that again. We forgave him, but even in the Bible, it says the law is the law. Him dying serves us no purpose. In news conferences, I'm not progressive up, guys. In news conferences, officials took what Clinton Van Zandt, a former FBI profiler negotiator, called a softer velvet glove approach to Mr. Stevens, appealing to him to turn himself in while trying not to provoke him. They referred to him as Steve, avoided harsh comments on his actions, and said his family and friends were waiting to hear from him. That the chase ended in suicide was no surprise to manhunt experts. Given Mr. Stevens' behavior, according to news reports, he was a gambler who struggled with debts and had recently been evicted from an apartment for failure to pay rent in. On his video, he described himself as having lost everything. Mr. Stevens had not taken steps to cover his tracks that other fugitives have done, like discarding his cell phone, changing vehicles, or traveling far from home. He didn't do those things, y'all. But they couldn't find him, remember, Robin's time, okay. Even the killing, Mr. Van Zandt said, was, I think, an impulsive act, and that his escape may not be as thought out. In the end, it was a simple trip through a McDonald's drive-thru that brought the manhunt to a close. I think we interacted with him for like 15 seconds, said Mr. Sayers, the manager. Officials did not immediately say whether the restaurant employees would collect the $50,000 reward for information leading to Mr. Stevens' capture. Yeah, right. And let me say this, and I'm going to pass the mic. At this point, they're just straight out now being disrespectful to people. That's just what this is. It's really, to me, it's really, playing on people's intelligence. Because here's a couple of things to why I definitely family still, I feel much stronger now that this is definitely a hoax, especially after the whole suicide situation. Now, remember all of those cases where the black dude supposedly went and he killed the 2 police officers, execution style in New York. Remember that after he did that, which by the way, before he did that shooting, he put on Facebook, pigs are going to fly today. Okay. Then he supposedly committed the act and then went into a busy New York City subway platform and committed suicide. There was no video. There was no people who were there who spoke about it. There was nothing. Okay. Remember the guy, supposedly the black gay dude, who worked at a news station, and he had enough for these people and this and that, and he went on live television, decides on live television to go just walk up and shoot and kill the newscaster and the cameraman. Okay, you didn't hear, and then he supposedly committed suicide right after that, right? And then you look at all of these other incidents, it's so many that it's ridiculous. Even when you look at the situation with Chicago with the supposed 4 teenagers who supposedly kidnapped and tortured that white boy. Here's the thing, like, what's happened to that case? Like, that case has literally disappeared into thin air. You don't hear nothing else about it. You never saw the boy. Nothing ever was said. He never spoke out anymore. You never heard from the teenagers' parents or nobody else. You didn't hear any updates on whether they being sentenced, whether they going to trial. You didn't hear anything else. That story was gone just like that. And supposedly they kidnapped the boys, but then they let them go. So you kidnap them and then you let them go, and then supposedly the mama dumped them off at McDonald's because he went to school with the boy, and then the police saw him walking down the street and asked him what was going on, and one of the boys who supposedly kidnapped him was with him. And what? And if you notice, every single time Facebook is involved. Every time. It's never Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube. It's always Facebook. People are on Instagram Live all the time now. It's telling people on Snapchat. It's telling people on YouTube doing live streams, Google Hangouts. It's always, it's all these different sites. But every time it comes back to Facebook. Now, what do we know about Facebook? We know that Facebook is used by the FBI and CIA. It is basically an operation by them. And it helps to catalog information. It helps to do a multitude of things, right? We also know that Facebook is being sued by the ACLU for targeting pro-black people and for targeting people and doing all kind of different things. So you know that they're clued in and they're a part of a whole system. And they use Facebook to run a lot of these different drill, a lot of different things like this. Here's the other thing. Every time these situations happen, it's supposedly on camera. Just when it's time for them to shoot the person or whatever, the camera jerks away. Now, I understand that people don't want to feel like somebody got one over on them. People still want to have a level of trust in this government or in this society for whatever reason. I understand that. I understand people want to try to rationalize it and everything, and I'm not taking anything away from that, and everybody's entitled to their own beliefs. But these people are in one hand holding a camera or holding a phone, right, recording what they're doing. In the other hand, they have a gun, and they're able to just walk up, shoot, and kill this person. The camera jerks away and then jerks back after the shots or whatever already fired. People never walk up on the person that they supposedly killed. They never do any further examination. They just shoot and then that's it and it's over and done with. We never see anything more. And then overwhelmingly, the people always end up committing suicide. Now, these are people who chose. Now, if the man was going to commit suicide, he commits suicide after he done went to McDonald's and got his McNuggets, right? So he said, my last dying wish is to have a McDonald's chicken nuggets with some honey mustard dipping sauce, and I'm going to get that before I take my life. Now, this damn man supposedly did all this. Now, they just said he didn't do the typical things that people do. He did not change vehicles. He did not get rid of his cell phone, and he did not go far from where he was at. How in the hell, in this day and age, with all of this technology, they can find you anywhere? If they want to get you, they going to get you. But somehow, they couldn't find this man. It's a manhunt. It's gone on 2 days or whatever now, almost 3 days. Come on. So family, I'm just saying, they play with our emotions, they toy with us, and we gotta understand you cannot, as the thing goes, don't believe anything you hear and half of what you see. And a lot of people felt away because they was like, well, it's gotta be real. No, that really happened and this and that. Listen, this man broke it down, and I was gonna get the audio, but this man broke it down about how you know those blood packs they use, like in movies and things. And see, this is the thing. People would think, like, who would go to these lengths? Do you understand what system we in? Do you understand the lengths they will go to for anything? Yes, they will stage something like this. It's a great movie called Wag the Dog, okay? Please check it out. Please look at how they put these different types of organizations together, and they can show you. CNN has been out, and that's another thing. CNN always comes in connected with putting the family interview on the family. Now, what has CNN done? Remember all of those, there's been several situations of where they out and out lied. Like it was the two women who were in the same damn parking lot, and they were acting like they were somewhere completely different until it was found out where they were at. All kind of stories. Let me pass the mic because I want to get y'all input. But this is just ridiculous. But whoever want to go first, have at it. Psycho, you want to go?
Nikki like she chomping at the bit. I'll go though, but
okay, go ahead, Nikki. No, let your brother go ahead.
Well, you know, when I'm usually very cautious when I hear about these red flag situations, false flags, I'd say, or whatever they call them. Pretty much when they saying everything's a hoax, because that seemed like that's the new thing to do now. It seemed like they calling it hoax on everything. So, and I do understand. I'm a firm believer that conspiracies do exist. Some of these conspiracy theorists, aka truthers from the truth movement, some of the stuff they say, I actually do believe has some weight to it. But they cry wolf so much, it kind of waters it down, and it seems like every time a situation happens, everybody just immediately cries hoax. But again, I believe that these type things could actually happen. So I listen to the theories, because that's all they are at first, is a theory until proven to be fact. And at first I was real, I don't know about this, especially given the situation, it was so soon, and I don't want to disrespect the family and everything. So, I kind of didn't even want my mind to even drift that direction. And then, I started actually clicking on a couple of videos and seeing a couple of things, and I can understand the arguments. I mean, okay, let me say this. No disrespect to the family. If this is real, I'm just speculating right now. But it was a little odd that he got on there and went through this whole little monologue for X amount of minutes, showing his ID and his picture and everything else. And my whole thing is to support the hoax theory. Just the argument that could support the hoax theory. If he's on Facebook Live, most of the people that's going to see this is already on his friends list, and they already know who he is. So there's no need really for him to even go through the motions to try to prove that this is him and show his name and everything. So that's a little bit, why did he do that? Was that even really necessary if you was trying to, because mainly most of the people on your Facebook, let's put it like this, not necessarily everybody, probably most of the people on your Facebook probably ain't really your friends or your family members, but you do have friends and family members on there, so that most of the time that you can verify that that's actually you or whatever. So that was a little bit shaky. Then you mentioned the whole the phone, oddly enough, turned right before the gun went off, and then by the time it pans back, you see the body laying down, but the face is kind of covered up. You really can't see the face, but you just see the blood leaking out. It looked like it had already leaked out, actually. So I don't like. Again, I feel funny even talking about this, because if it's real, it's kind of like I don't know. I'm still holding my opinions as far as whether or not I think it's a hoax or not. But I see the argument for the hoaxes.
Okay. Hello. This is Maya and Nikki. Y'all have that. Whoever want to go. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I would definitely want to say, no, we definitely don't want to disrespect anyone's family. You know what I'm saying? Especially if someone actually got hurt. But the thing about that is that real people get hurt in fucked up situations like this sometimes, where someone could have planned a hoax and people get hurt in the process. So that's possible too. But the thing I want to pay attention to is why maybe people think it's a hoax is because it's kind of the same scenario over and over again. And when I was listening to the story that Sister Renee was reading, it was a lot of key words that people are definitely missing that make me think it's a hoax. Like white people promote things in the most sickest, oddest way. He went to McDonald's. He was driving a Ford Fusion. He was on Facebook. You know, the stores, they was naming the stores he was going to. The city he's in. Ohio right now is in a point where they need a lot of tourists. And people think, well, how would that bring people there? Americans are attracted to some sick-ass shit. Black people starting to act just like white people. We attracted to sick things like that. You know how many sick motherfuckers is going to go buy 20 chicken McNuggets and a large fry because they heard them? This is what America does. This is what the media does. This is what they put in your mind. This is all promotional. This is all them making more money on the way out because they know this shit is over for them. So they're doing just messy, sloppy things. And if you study and do research, you'll see that this is a hoax. Just everything is promotion. It was like a commercial. It was like they were promoting everything that America ever made, wanting you to go buy it, wanting you to hear about it more. So I've never heard where something was so tragic where people were going around killing people, and you're talking about odd things like what kind of car they're driving. He's showing his license plate, showing the state where you live in, the city where you live in, telling me where he went to eat at McDonald's, certain things like that. This is what white people do. This is the trick that media play. Maybe this is why some people are saying it's a hoax, because it's like the same thing over and over again. But like I said, just because it is a hoax, that doesn't mean that a brother really didn't actually get murdered in the process. So that is definitely unfortunate. Or it could be one of those things where you have paid actors doing a lot of things. Black people and white people are doing some of the same things at these times. I'm not saying that those people are doing that, but we're just at a point right now where you never really know. As a brother was saying, like the camera's angle was odd. You really couldn't see. You know what I'm saying? It's just little things that were in the soup, but if you just use common sense, it doesn't make sense. So I think that maybe that's why I think it could be a hoax, and a lot of other people think it could be. But to me, it sounds very promotional, like they're promoting America in the sickest, strangest way, but that's what I hear. And I heard your story, what you read.
Yeah, that's Sister Maya. You said it all. Sister Renee, you said it. Brother Psycho. I know, truly and honestly, do not get us wrong. We do not want to disrespect anybody's murdered family member or anything like that. But I'm telling you now, I don't think personally anyone's dead. And that's just my gut feeling on this. And usually when you have a gut feeling, let me tell you something. We have seen a lot of murders. Well, I can't say what you have seen. I'm going to say what I have seen. Okay? Certain things have happened in certain manners and things of this nature. Now, if we look back, and even if we go as far back as to the guy who was actually from Baltimore, once again, who supposedly, like Sister Renee said, plotted to kill 2 police officers. I mean, he actually passed 3 states to get the police in New York. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. And allegedly, he had shot his girlfriend in Owens Mills, which is a county here in Maryland, which is in Baltimore County. So we never heard anything about that either. We didn't see anything that happened. Allegedly, we've seen some pictures of him running up to a car and things of this nature. But everybody in the project where he had supposedly shot these police, nobody said they seen anything or heard anything. Okay, that's number one. All right, so let's move on to his picture. Okay, his picture. Let's go back to Christopher Dorner. Okay, let's go back to
Who else? All of these brothers. Let's go back to LL Cool J, right? Because they all are looking kind of like LL Cool J, but they're progressing with the beards. That's it. A little bit, to me. And it's all like a certain prototype that they're using for the black male. He's big. He's black. He's crazy. It's a manhunt. They put drones on Christopher Dorner. Drones. Okay? So this, and that was an all-out manhunt. And like you said, I always thought that this was a media marketing ploy because they were dropping too many corporate names. Too many. And when you see this video, usually those type of videos are blurred out or, you know, not even shown. And Facebook would have just, let me tell you, I was banned. And I still can't get into my page right now for talking about white people and how they stole everything and claim it for themselves. But you mean to tell me that this man can actually, first they said it was live, then they said, oh no, it wasn't live. It was just put up to Facebook. So you mean to tell me that the Facebook patrol didn't see that video first? They were the first ones because it says what? Loading. Check your feed. We'll let you know when it's loaded, correct? So they seen it first. It was loaded to them before it was even loaded to his page. They seen what that was. Make no mistake about it. Anybody load something right now and you'll see what I'm talking about. Go live on something. There's some type of delay or you can't see. If you go live, you won't be able to see. You won't be, it'll be like in blocks. It'll be disturbed. It'll say connection is broken. I mean, all types of stuff. But when you're filming it, when you're filming something with Facebook Live, it looks clear as a day. And then go back and press play and see what you see. It's just too much. You understand? And I'm not trying. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nikki. Okay. So, right. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody's family. His family looks suspect to me too. Okay? Who went to the hospital with the brother? Who called 911? How did they figure out that the senior who let their 80-some-year-old grandfather walk outside at Easter? First of all, let me tell you something about what happens on Easter. And everybody should already know what happens on Easter because all of y'all celebrated it. So don't even don't fake like you didn't because I did. Everybody did. All right? No matter what. Okay, even if you say you did when you went to school, you celebrate Easter. All right. So what happens on Sunday? What happens on Sunday? If you don't go to church, dinner starts at what time? So how is it that his dinner was over before 2:00 in the afternoon? And he's walking home somewhere by himself. That don't even make sense. Nobody does that. Nope. Nobody. So I mean, it's disturbing. It's disturbing, and just think of what type of picture they're trying to put out there about us. This was a manhunt for black men. This wasn't a manhunt for that man. Period. This was for all black men. Period. All of them, no matter what. You fit the description, no matter what. And the thing about it is that even the either in the first 48, now they already put the show out there, first 48. Now that don't make me an expert, that don't make you an expert, that don't make nobody an expert. But you do know that that's where most of the clues and everything comes from, right? First 48, either they're going to evolve the story or they're going to dissolve it. It's only one or two choices. Evolve or dissolve. Either they're going to blow it out of proportion. Everybody said that he was going to be found dead somewhere. Why is that? Because we've seen it before. Because we have seen it before. Now they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure something out because they're going to be like, well, you know, they can figure all this out already. Everybody, I had just got off the phone with my sister, and she said, he's going to be found dead. And right when I hung up, that's when the alert came through, like, he gone.
That's what it says. She always.
Now,
Go ahead, sister.
okay.
And you know it's a manhunt over you, and you go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Of all places, you go to McDonald's, and it's a manhunt over you. Yeah. And you're driving the same car.
McDonald's needs that money. McDonald's needed that promotion. I'm telling y'all, McDonald's needed that. Everybody he mentioned, America needs this money.
So what's this slogan? I'm loving it. This is my problem with our people right now. And I'm about to bring y'all in who on the line, and then we'll get into the topic. This is my problem right now with our people. I love my people so much. But I don't understand why we gotta wait for them to tell us a conspiracy. Because they're never gonna tell you it's a conspiracy. It can go to you can have all the facts lined up that show this is a hoax. And they still will never say, you know what, yeah, it was a hoax. They're never gonna do that. So why are we waiting for the people who did this stuff in the first place to tell you it's a conspiracy? To tell you it was a hoax or it was staged? I mean, and that's the other thing. We have to listen to our intuition. You know, your intuition is telling you the real from the fake. It's telling you what's really going on with this. And if there's that tugging feeling like, man, this ain't right, it's probably because it ain't right. And, you know, where are all his Facebook friends at? Where are all of these people at? It's always done in such a way to where, like, you can't trace anything, right? Because the first thing now is, we took down their page. Their page is taken down. So nobody can go and see if this was ever really a page anyway. Because they take it and delete it. You can't go to it. And then how do we know, like, who reported this? Where's that person at? How did the information get out there that this was on Facebook since they have no clue of knowing? And like you said, Nikki, it's a delay in the first damn place. And then this is another one this another way to show you how staged this was. Now, for a lot of things, they won't put it on TV because it's so graphic. Even with taking out the part was never on the video where you can actually see them shoot them, but even the parts surrounding it are very horrific to look at. They played all of that. They're playing all of that for a reason. They want you to see it. Any other time, if it's something for real, they don't put as gruesome of information or video footage out there. But on this one, they did. And then that's another thing, his family. That was so bogus. If you can, look up on YouTube and the CNN again, Anderson Cooper, again, we know he's part of the elite, his whole family, okay? Anyway, in the clip, he interviews 3 of the children, supposedly, you know, they overgrown people. And he interviews them, and it's two of the sisters and one brother, whatever. Now, mind you, this is how crazy it is. When the one sister in the middle was talking, she actually says vacation. She says she uses the word vacation instead of investigation. Mm-hmm. She said because this is a vacation. I mean investigation.
But that wasn't the odd part, though. That wasn't the odd part, though. The odd part was that her sister said it, they both said vacation at the same time, and then the other sister corrected her and said investigation, and they both was looking down like they was reading off a script or something. That clip right there is what made me say, okay, I'm not too sure what's going on here when I saw that clip, because that seemed very strange, to be honest with you.
I gotta go and watch that.
That seems very strange.
Wow, what they said. And I'm not trying to, this is not an attack on anybody who believes in, Christianity or the Bible or anything. This is not an attack on that, but I'm just showing you how they mix in so many things. Now, in that clip where the children were talking, they say, we just want to, we forgive. Now, they ain't even found the man yet. We forgive him. And we just want to wrap our arms around him and hug him. We just want to embrace him. And even the Bible says, and they went into talking something about the Bible. And who in the hell says that? Now, first, 1 minute, y'all so distraught over the loss of your father. And then 2 seconds later, you talking about y'all just want to wrap your arms around him and hug him. The man who killed your father. Then they were sitting up there talking about, and this is another way that shows you how phony this is. Now, we know this happened on Easter. They say how good of a man their father was. They say he taught us about God. He taught us, the power of God. They kept mentioning that. Now, if he was such a good father, and he taught y'all about God, clearly was a religious man, why on Easter was he not with his family? Why was he walking down the street in the mid-afternoon somewhere with a table
no
out
church
there?
clothes, and it wasn't church clothes either.
Like you said, Nikki.
And it wasn't church clothes either.
Elders, especially your daddy, he's gonna be at somebody's house getting some ham, or if y'all eat ham or whatever y'all eating, he's gonna be sitting over there with the little kids who have if y'all had an Easter egg hunt and all that. The elder is gonna be sitting up in one of his children. He got 6 children, grown children. Now
in defense of the people that believe this happened, it's actually not odd to hear the victims' families forgive the perpetrator. I mean, let's not forget what Dalen Roof's families did right after Dalen Roof did what he did.
Two-stage event.
Yeah, so that's not too odd right there. That part didn't really strike me as odd. It pissed me off.
But you know what? I find that it was odd but when you that was odd too though, because they hadn't even I said they hadn't even arrested him yet. Like the court system hasn't even forgiven him yet. Like that was odd. Right. Though. That was odd to me. When they did it to Dylan Roof, it was odd. And when they did it this time, that's very odd because you be mad at a nigga who you know that's short to you for $1 for being mad. You be mad at him for the rest of your life. I hate that nigga for the rest of my life. You gonna forgive somebody that actually murders. That's very odd. That was odd. That's not normal. That's odd. It seems like they're brainwashed or something. Those people who go through this process, they seem to be under some kind of, I don't know. But see, now we're seeing but let me say this real fast. But what we're seeing is what they're trying to say that black people are. They're meek. They forgive. They turn down the cheek. And people in church is not like that. Okay? We already know this. All right? I know it for a fact. They're not like that. Okay? It just does not happen. Even with the pastors, even with the priests. I mean, we have seen it, up close and personal in our own lives. So, that's odd. Let's just say that. That's very odd because it does not happen like that.
Mm.
And see, I understand what you're saying, Psycho, because you have people who do that. But at that point, they hadn't even found the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still looking for this man. He could still be out killing hella people for all they know. Yeah. And they already talking about how they forgive him and they just want to put their arms around him and hug and embrace him.
Now it was another thing.
But how do we know that he was the one that did it? That's what I want to know. How do we know, even if let's say the man is dead, how do we know for 100% sure that he was the one that killed that man? How do we know? We don't.
But you know what? This is the other piece to the puzzle that always seems to be missing with these situations. I'm going to wait to see what I can find out about the funeral. I want to find out about the funeral. I bet I don't either. I'm waiting. Oh, the family had a private. They'll say something like this. The family had a private.
They want respect and things of this nature. Yeah. I haven't even seen that people have gone to the gate and put teddy bears or balloons or anything on the gate, or even sometimes strangers do that. And I haven't even heard where this whole thing has supposed to have taken place. Even you keep saying Cleveland, but that's a street.
Yeah,
and
that.
Yeah,
that
and my thing too was there was nobody else around. There was nobody in Cleveland in the city and the air around the area. They said, and I know he was kind of walking by a field and there was a fence, but ain't nobody nowhere. Nobody across the street, nobody up the street. Now, mind you, he's just driving down the road and said, "Oh, I'm gonna pull over here and just kill this man right here." Now, did he pull it purposely? And say, "Oh, nobody's down here." Go ahead, Psycho.
No, I was just gonna say, from a psychological standpoint, it's really odd too that he ended up killing himself from a psychological, because most of the time when people like when people commit suicide after a murder, it's usually after like an act of love, like they murdered like their spouse or their children or their parents or something like that, and they can't bear it, that the pain of what they just did, and they have to off themselves. But most of the time when you get these like serial killer types or this, that, and the third, you rarely hear about them offing themselves. Like they're usually their hearts are really cold, and they have no guilt, they have no conscience, they just killing random people, and you never hear about these guys really killing themselves after murder. So that's a little bit odd too on a psychological aspect.
Because he wanted, and then he was talking about he wanted, and then he said, what you read, Sister Renee, that he wanted something. He went to everybody, he talked to them, and he did this, that, and the other, and they wouldn't listen. You see what I'm saying? So now this will be his big chance for everybody in the whole wide world to hear what he had to say, correct? So why would he kill himself at McDonald's? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Now,
that's a great point. You wanted the world to hear you now, right? Because you putting this all over Facebook because you want it out there. That's what he said. But all of a sudden after that, you don't want nothing else out there no more, and you don't want your suicide out there. But you want to you kill this man. You want that out there though. How does a person's mindset change that quick within a day or two in terms of doing something horrific like that? And then the other thing is, he supposedly worked at this mental place. I want to see the coworkers. I want all the coworkers to come out who knew him. I want the neighbors who knew him. I want all of the people who were supposed to be in the front with him. Because see, what they can do is they can always see a person was part of something, and the other people who are in it like, oh, I didn't know him. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody say, oh, this was an employee at this mental place. Somebody can say, oh, I didn't know him. I never met him. You know what I mean? So even though they claim he worked there, I want to know people. I want to see some real evidence and proof. Because how is it you work at a mental health place and you deal with youth now, not adults, he was dealing with youth, and you go from being in this position and dealing with them to snapping, because he kept saying, I just snapped, man, I just snapped. Right. Snapping and going according to you and killing 14 people. Who does? I knew that was your mama and your girlfriend.
Nobody knows the name of his job.
Age 37.
Yeah, they never mentioned the name, like the name of the place.
Yeah, his job. They named his job 37. For your mother and your girlfriend to piss you off, and then decide to become a mass murderer at 37 years old because your mama and your girlfriend made you mad.
And you work at a place for mental stability. That's very odd.
Right. Very, very odd. Yeah. So anyway, y'all, I want to go ahead and get into the topic because we really could just have done the whole show on this because this is just crazy. And I do not want to offend anybody, but it's to the point now where they just playing on people's intelligence. It's to the point now where they just literally laughing in our faces. And people had talked about what would be the reason for them to do this, what they did. Well, you have to look at it as well, like, okay, for instance, when they put this out there and it's a massive manhunt, it was actually people on YouTube Live, okay, who were out vigilante style with their guns and all this and that, riding around that area saying, now, looking for this man. All of these white vigilante dudes. Now, that gives people an excuse to accost black men, to pull them over, to kill them, to incarcerate them, to detain them for questioning, to do all kinds of sorts of things because there's such a manhunt looking for this man. And then a lot of people who were in Cleveland said it was fairly quiet. For it to be a manhunt, a lot of things was quiet within the community. So I don't know. But this is just, y'all, just look at the facts. If you feel me, you do. If you don't, you don't. Everybody has the right to their beliefs, but come on, y'all. And understand, because my mom was really upset. She's like, everything is not a hoax. Everything is not fake. I said, no, Mom, I'm not saying everything is fake. However, look at all of these things. Why do all of these things all seem to have the same damn patterns with Facebook for Facebook. Come the hell on. And like I was telling her, you know, you get to incite a certain emotional response from the public. Or you look in terms of what type of legislation and things they might be wanting to pass or getting ready to pass, as well as to further denigrate our image, right? Because then people was using it as an excuse to go in on so-called black-on-black crime. People was using that as an excuse. See, you can't blame the white man on this one. People was using it as an excuse to implicate black men. People used it as an excuse to implicate black women. It was dudes I seen on my now, where's that bitch at? Where's that bitch Troy Lane at? Bitch, where you at, bitch? This nigga did this for you, bitch. I mean, I'm like, what? What is wrong with people? Okay, so let's get into the topic, y'all. We done went in for so long on this. Let me bring in a couple people. Family, when I bring in the lines, I'm gonna announce you, okay? But let's please, if y'all have any background noise or whatever, it's a good thing just to probably mute your line till you're ready to speak or what have you, so we can keep any feedback to a minimum. All right, let me open up some lines. Okay, y'all, we about to talk about Black patriarchy versus Black matriarchy, which is best for our people. I know we went about an hour on this topic, but that's a trending story. It's a story that just came out, you know, and you know, one that a lot of people are interested in. And supposedly the suicide happened today, so you know, it's kind of a real hot topic right now. So anyway, but to transition on, excuse me,
a blockbuster.
Brother E, I knew you was gonna be the first one. I knew it. Anyway, let me go ahead and get into this topic, y'all. So, we dealing with Black matriarchy and patriarchy. Now, first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give y'all the definition for patriarchy, and then I'll give you the definition for matriarchy, and we can break it down in terms of what's going on in our community, et cetera, et cetera. Now, patriarchy is a system of society or government in which the father or eldest male is head of the family and descent is traced through the male line. A system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. A society or community organized on patriarchal lines. Okay, so basically a family or group or government controlled by a man or a group of men. A social system in which family members are related to each other through their father. Okay, now let's go to matriarchy is a system of society or government ruled by a woman or women. A form of social organization in which descent and relationship are reckoned through the female line. The state of being an older, powerful woman in a family or group. A family or society in which authority is held by females to whom, like I said, descent and inheritance are traced. More generally, a matriarchy is a society dominated by women. Alrighty, now, I wanted to bring this topic forth because it's always a very hot topic, you know, in our community. A lot of people who are on social media, many of you all, including myself, we see a lot of nonsense as relates to this supposed gender war that's going on between black men and black women. You have people on either side. You're now seeing more black women who are coming out, you know, really trying to get at black men and things of this nature. And you have we know it's a whole industry of these specific brothers who come out and have everything in the world to say about black women. Let me also be clear before I get into anything. I'm not a feminist. I don't hold any feminist ideals, okay? I'm not talking about every black man. Let me say this again. I'm not talking about every black man. When I'm speaking in terms of this patriarchy type conversation, I'm mostly talking about a specific group, a specific sector of black men who are on social media who, you know, say certain things as relates to this. So I want to make that clear out the gate, so I don't have to say that again. All right. So I want to go around and see what people think. I'll start with my new callers that's in, and I want to go around and just briefly, maybe take about 2 minutes each. Tell whether you think a patriarchy or matriarchy is best for our community and why, and then we'll get further into it. So 803, Peace, what's your name and where you calling from? Peace.
This is Gavette. I'm calling from Columbia, South Carolina.
Hey, Peace, how are you?
Peace and Black Power.
I'm good. How are you? Peace.
Wonderful.
Peace.
All right. So, what are your thoughts? If you want to go ahead and deal with that, which one do you think is better for our people and why?
If I would have to say, and I guess I can play like devil's advocate, I would say either one. And the reason being is that I think that, it's just with science that, women may have their intelligence as well as men may have their intelligence, but, when you bring them both together, they have different perspectives which can assist one another. And just like, when you have two women, can't procreate, neither can two men procreate. So I just think it's with science that you need both the man and woman working together within the community, and that's what would be best for our community as a whole.
Egalitarian.
All right. Thank you for that, sis. Okay, let me get to the next person. And then, we're going to open it up. And I'm going to go back around to the panel. But, okay, 240, Pete, what's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, hello?
Peace and Black Power.
Yeah, hey, Renee, I'm just listening, man. Put me back on hold. I'm listening.
All righty. Okay, cool. All right. That takes us to what I'm going back to my friend. I think Brother E. Peace, Brother E. What's your thoughts on that?
Here's the definition again. I'm both okay.
Brother E? Yeah, you there?
Okay, here's the definition of both of them. On both the things. Matriarch. What the definition defines.
Oh, he missed the definition.
Okay. A patriarchy is a system or of society or government ruled by a man or men, basically, long story short. For a matriarchy is a system of society or government ruled by a woman or women. And also where the lineage is traced through, for matriarchy is traced through the women, for patriarchy is traced through the men.
Okay. I don't think either one. I think this should be what I call rotation. If the man falls off, like listen, the man falls off, the woman steps up. The woman falls down, the man steps up. It keeps a sense of balance. That's my take. I don't think either one. You could agree to disagree with what I just said, but that's how I feel.
That's called being egalitarian.
Right.
I don't think we got the definition, Brother Psycho. We didn't get the definition.
What, egalitarian?
Asking for a friend.
Egalitarianism. Egalitarianism is
egalitarian.
Yeah, it's pretty much the.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Psycho.
Yeah, it's neither side is the dominant plays a dominant role in society. Pretty much I actually lean more towards this position also. Because I'm for equal rights all the way around the board. I think a woman should get paid just as much as a man for the exact same job. Like if they both work in the exact same job, I feel like they both should get paid the same money. But we also have to understand that everybody isn't suited for every job. I also hold that position. Let's just say your average woman can lift up 100 pounds. Squat down and just lift up 100 pounds. Not your average woman. I'm not saying there's not women out there who can't do it. I'm not talking about the exceptions to the rule. I'm talking about the norm. So those type of jobs are more suited, obviously, for men. And if those jobs happen to pay more than another job that a woman is doing, that's just what it is. But they're doing two different jobs. So again, the pay should equal up to whatever the job status is as far as like workload. So again, I think egalitarianism is the way to really probably go. But I'm definitely more patriarchy than matriarchy.
All right, let me give Brother East Partney. Hey, brother, how are you? Is he there? 864?
My brother.
864? If you speak your margin. Okay, well, I'm not sure about that situation, but we can go back around. So, okay, Psycho.
I definitely want to say something to that.
Go ahead, Maya, and then Nikki, you can go.
I'm definitely glad they brought up the third. Well, the third definition, I guess kind of, leaning towards the middle of both. I mean, neither more dominant than the other, but I'm going to have to go with matriarchy only because of my ancestors. And when I go back on history, the greatest thing that any black man has ever did in history, which is building a pyramid, he did for the black woman. And when we think about matriarchy and patriarchy, we thinking of it as in terms of payment, equal treatment. That's white people's term. But our ancestors dealt with matriarchy. There was no other white person around to give us a counter of someone being treated unequal. We didn't have that problem. So when we dealt with matriarchy, it was not on the basis of someone being mistreated and someone being treated better. The black man dedicated a lot of things he did to the black woman and revered to his mother, his wife, his daughter. It had nothing to do with feeling inferior. That's why I can't go with leaning towards the middle. Because the greatest thing in history, science, math, the pyramids, and people wonder why we always go back to the pyramids, because that's the greatest thing in history when you deal with science and mathematics. And they did that for the black woman. So there was nothing weak about the black men who revered their women. There was nothing weak about our ancestors. So I think when people hear matriarchy, they take it as a man bowing down to the woman. We never had weak men like that. And the black woman did not like or revere no weak-ass man. So, we didn't look kindly to that. But I'm going to go with matriarchy because the greatest thing the black man ever did in history, he did under matriarchy. And like I said at that time, we didn't have to counter. It wasn't about somebody getting paid more or paid less. We didn't have that problem. That didn't come in until Europeans came in. So we didn't deal with that.
Well, yeah.
All right.
I want to add that I think that it's in reality it's a patriarchal society. When we look at certain things, I'm not sure. It's like it's kind of difficult because the times that we're living in right now, although we are having a pretty much a woman-led type household, things of this nature, it's still kind of manly at certain points in time. And the thing about it is that a lot of the homes are missing
the fathers. They're missing that balance. They're missing the teachings from both sides. But they're definitely getting a male side from somewhere. Okay, so another thing is if something happens, like let's say my tire goes flat, of course, yeah, I can get down on the ground, whatever. I don't want to. Okay, so or if somebody breaks in the house, or God forbid, I'm just using an example. I don't want to have to go deal with the burglar. So that doesn't mean that I'm weak or anything like that. But I don't believe in any type of way that a man and a woman can be equal. It's just not possible. And we weren't put on this earth to be equal, as in we can do the same. I just don't believe that. There's no way for us to do the same thing. There's no way for us to be equal in any type of way, because we're not. And we're not the same people. A man cannot do what I can do, and like Psycho said, lifting all that up, whatever. I'm sure I can lift 100 pounds, but if you standing right there, I'm gonna, yeah, oh baby, you are so strong. Look at those muscles. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna pop you up. Trust me. So I'm gonna be a cheerleader. Okay. So I think that in all society, I mean, I do understand that there are certain things with what was done before and things of this nature, but I don't think our minds have been brought to that point of how our communities and things were at a certain point in time. I would love for it to be that way, but the fact of the matter is that it is to me, everything pretty much right now is based on the male. The focus is on the male no matter what. So what is that for us? I do think that the enemy needs to know that there's a man, period. There's a man, there's somebody that's going to defend you. So that's not right.
All right, now let me say this. And
I have a question for the brother too. That's online. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me say this real quick. And what I'm gonna say, it may offend some people, okay? But it's not meant to be offensive. It's just how I kind of see things. First off, I'm gonna just say this. I don't think that black men in America can expect patriarchy. I don't think they should expect patriarchy. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't think black men should expect patriarchy because our social setup is completely different from everyone else's. And what I mean by that is within us being in this particular paradigm and how they do things and how they run things, they've always had where the man was in charge and called the shots and the woman was kind of like in the background. And, she was a domestic in the home and that type of thing. Well, within the black community, we've never had that type of setup. The black woman, since we know of our ancestors being here on this land, the black woman has always been in the position of working just like the black man has. She was always put in the position to do, pick whatever it was, pick cotton, fill the field, whatever needed to be done. She was in be it labor, hard labor type work and all of that. All of those same expectations were placed upon black women on top of them being pregnant for 9 months, having babies, breastfeeding, having menstrual cycle or whatever else was going on. As women, the expectation was still that as a black woman, you're going to work just the same as a black man. So therefore, our foundation in this country has never been built upon the man being the sole provider. It's never been built upon him going out and bringing home the bacon. Because even in times of, as we talk about after the 13th Amendment, the black woman, in some cases, could get jobs or get work before black men cleaning up, whatever there was in that type of realm. Black women had an easier job or time finding work in those type of situations often. So because of that, you had a lot of black women who did bring home the bacon, who did, they were the providers for their families. If not in totality, at least a portion, they were providers. Now, the patriarchal system is heavily based off of who's bringing in the money. It's heavily based off of who is the provider, being that the man is the provider and the protector, and the woman, of course, has the babies and raises the children. But again, we were never in that scenario, so I don't think that black men can expect to try to have a patriarchy on top of people who were enslaved, on top of people who were already indoctrinated, on top of people who were already put in different categories and had different lifestyles than everyone else. Now, you can look into amongst Mexicans and other people, Asians and things of that nature, and you can see that for the most part, their women work and stuff too. But overwhelmingly, it's the men who work, it's the men who bring home the bacon, it's the men who will have 2 or 3 jobs or whatever needs to be done in terms of bringing in the money. I'm not saying that in any means to diminish the black man at all. I'm not saying that at all. But for instance, when white people went into the whole feminist movement and the feminist era, this was because white women felt like they didn't have equality in the workplace. They were not in a position to really provide for themselves or their children aside from their men, all of those sorts of things. So as you had feminism come in and you had the white woman then, getting affirmative action, which benefits her more than anybody else. You had her begin to take different jobs and different things. Then you had a two-income household. The black community has pretty much always been a two-income household. We've always pretty much been in that situation. I say this often, but the black woman has always been overrepresented in the American labor force. That's because black women always work. Black women always did something. Black women were never in the position of just sitting at home, raising the babies and doing this and that while the husband worked. And that was because we've been in survival mode. And if we in survival mode, honey, everybody getting a job. Everybody trying to bring in some money. Honey, we got to eat. We got to do what we got to do. So we never had that kind of luxury of the white woman sitting in the shade, with the lemonade with our feet up, and or even the rough parts when the woman can't speak and she can't. The black woman never was in those positions. We had to be tough. We had to be able to talk back. We had to be able to do a lot of stuff. Because when you think in terms of them breaking apart our families, selling people off, all of the abuse that was done to women and their children, all of those scenarios, you don't necessarily know what's going on from day to day, week to week, year to year. So you got to do what you got to do. So that's why I feel like black men cannot expect a patriarchy. You cannot expect what the white man has set forth and what he does in his community. Because at the end of the day, remember, it's the white man who's the oppressor in the situation. And so why are we trying to be like them anyway? That's another thing I don't understand. When I hear a lot of this segment of brothers talking about patriarchy and that's what we need and this, that, and the other, why are you trying to be like the people who oppress you? Why are you trying to use them as a model? I am not for patriarchy or matriarchy. I'm for neither. I'm for balance. I'm for mayat. I'm for is things that a woman can do that a man can't, and vice versa. And what we both bring to the table is powerful and beneficial for each other. It's not one or the other. Even with the egalitarian kind of thing, I don't really think men and women are equal in that sense. It's not equal because, like I said, it's things that both of, some things we can do, they can't do, and vice versa. So you can't really say it's equal, but you can say it should be balanced. I know that kind of sounds funny, but to me, it's a difference between saying something is equal and saying something is balanced. So in other words, you have the feminine that balances the masculine. You have the masculine that balances the feminine. You have the woman have the ability to do certain things. You have the man have his way of doing certain things. And so I think definitely it should be a compliment. Anybody want to say something on that?
Yeah, I wanted to ask the brothers on the line a question about that. Like, I wanted to know, what do they feel, being black men, since we're talking about them, like, do you feel like, you know what I'm saying, a woman should be in a certain position, or a woman should fall back and let the man go ahead and do things, or would you rather prefer for a woman to meet you halfway or work with you? I would just like to know the brothers' preferences on the line before, you know, I assume, because I don't want to generalize all black men. I would like to know what the brothers on the panel think about, you know what I'm saying, would your house, basically would your household be, you know what I'm saying, as the sister said, a balance, or would you lean more towards the patriarchy, you know what I'm saying, you supposedly running the household?
I'm glad you said preference, because that's definitely what we're talking about here, preference. Me myself, I'm not really a passive guy, so I guess I would have to go with the patriarchy as far as my personal household. Some guys that aren't as strong-minded, or you know, pretty much is more passive, so to speak, will towards the matriarchy side of things. You got some guys who just want to be house husbands. You know, you got some guys who just want to just sit in the house and just take care of the kids and let the woman go out and do all the work and everything. I personally couldn't be that guy, but these guys do exist. So that's why I said I'm glad you said preference, because you know it's not black and white like that. But yeah, me myself, patriarchy.
I think now too, but go ahead, brother.
I'm trying to follow what I was asking in regards. I want to be clear, because the answers I got to be clear. You know, can you repeat the question for time out?
Basically, like your household, would you prefer, you know what I'm saying, as Sister Renee said, a balance, you know what I'm saying, bringing a balance, or would you lean more towards a so-called patriarchy household? Would you be a man running things, or would you let your woman run things? Basically, your preference. How would you, you know, run your household, or how do you run it?
Well, in regards to how we want to structure things, I had looked at it in its entirety. We live here in America, so we operate in a Eurocentric fashion. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't admit it, but we do. I would say we have to really go back. Nick could probably vouch for what he's about to say. What I'm saying is this: that you know, if we're going to do anything, you know, it should be always in a balanced state, moral and ma'at, for the lack of terms. So women have their role, the men have the role. We make it click, and we try to make it happen, and try to do it as best we can in regards to making strong family households. You know what I'm saying no one should really take more burden than the other. If one leans on somebody, we gotta lean on each other, you know, one way or the other. So that way we don't have too much a burden in regards to this household relationship. And when we have children too. So that way everything coheses with one another. I mean, one thing we look at, like the celebrities, I like to throw this term, like, you know, if you notice, like, a lot of celebrities are getting divorced because of whatever so-called reason. I'm not saying names right now. But obviously we know, say, you know, they're no different from the average black American in America, how we look at ourselves in relation. You know, we had to change that dynamics real drastically to really see some proper fixing. That's how I see it.
All right, I think
Is it possible? Can I ask a question? Is it possible? Is it? Oh, okay. Peace, brother.
Okay, go ahead, Ty. You had a question for.
Oh, I had a question. I had a question for the women. Is it possible for?
Okay, go ahead.
Is it possible for a woman to be for matriarchy and be with a strong black man, or does she have to be with a passive black man if she's for a matriarchy?
ladies think on that, and then Brother Equine, go ahead. The question was, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but the thing was just to take a couple minutes and say whether you feel like patriarchy or matriarchy is best for or which one is best for our community and why?
Okay, I feel like you said, I think we have visited the patriarchal side for quite some time, even being in the patriarchal society in which we are in, controlled by this cracker. So it's just as I was discussing with my queen, so much we always look at God as being a he. You know, I think it's good for us to look at and start visiting, you know, the divine side of our mother. You understand? And look at how she is also very divine and looking at the goddess aspect. That's why now within people in their consciousness, they're talking about the goddess aspect. And this is just expressing our divinity, in which we all know that we all are divine. And the reality is, I'm definitely for the unified family approach. But in the case where we have gone through so much trauma, where we have been separated, you may have to have the dynamic, like the question that the brother just asked. Will it work if you have two strong personalities? A lot of times it may not work. If the man is more, I'm going to say, low-key, he's more laid back, you may have the dynamic in where the woman is going to take more charge. And going back to Kemet, just to put this out there, and I didn't know this, you know, and even within my house and my marriage, there is no equivalent to woman of the house. You understand? So in saying there is no term for father or man of the house. You understand? The mother was the caretaker. She was the one that ran the house. You understand? She's the one that handled that business. And even as it related to her being the house herself, as she plays a great role in the housing process of all life. So I think even inside the balance of my eye, it may be in order to get to the place where we can celebrate both man and woman. Since we have celebrated man for so long, let us lift up woman, you know, and maybe in some cases where brothers are, you know, more, you know, because today we see brothers are feminine as hell in some cases. So it may be that they may have to take the more patriarchal approach to see and understand masculinity. So I think a lot of times it may vary depending upon your geographical location. You understand who your tribe of people are and where you're at and how you kind of, you know, how you get now. So that's what I have to say on it. But at the end of the day, I'm definitely for the unified family as mother and as father, or one unified vessel working to, you know, establish that one common bloodline and bringing everything together. Because I think you guys said lineage, and lineage is very important. With you know, rather than being broken, I think with broken lineage can get you now with baby mamas and baby daddies. We over here and we over there, rather than being bonded and unified within that, you know, in that system.
I totally agree.
All right, brother. All right. Feel you. Okay, so let me bring in I think Brother Ian dropped off, but let me bring in 330, and I want to ask, want us to also answer Psycho's question. I guess let me get this caller first, and then we'll go ahead and do that. All right, 330, peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Henry from Akron. How's everybody doing?
Peace, Black Power.
Hey, peace, Henry.
I've been trying to call your show I've been good. I've been trying to call your show for the last 3 shows, but every night I have my mom call me to make sure she got upstairs safe, and when she calls and I click back over, the call is dropped and I can't call back in. So I've been listening a little bit, but I just got to handle mom. I got to handle mom upstairs. So I would say
that's right.
In answer to your question, we really can't have a male or female dominated, black dominated community until we get rid of white supremacy. We got to get rid of that first, because you can't have a two-headed. Anything with two heads is going to have a freak. So I think the real context is, are we saying, can we establish a matriarchy or a patriarchy in spite of white supremacy? Or are we saying that once white supremacy, or I wouldn't like to use the word white supremacy, the white power structure is eliminated, then what would be best for us? Because right now, the white power structure is going to be trying to fight against any type of art. Okay? I would say, though, in order to eliminate the white power structure, I would be in favor of the male-dominated society, because you need your warriors to come forward and to remove the unnecessary components that are oppressing the people. Let's just say, if we were to take over this nation, for example, we still would have to have a male-dominated society, because of the foreign powers will be trying to move in and trying to overtake the country. So I think that it's not, when I think in terms, when I say male-dominated, I'm not saying that we're dominating a woman. What I'm saying is that our position is more authoritative and more outspoken to the world than maybe the woman might be. That's not necessarily that I'm barking orders at the woman and she's doing everything I say. I think that's ridiculous. That's not a wife, that's a pet. I'm saying that when we speak, we actually go to our woman to get her opinion. What do you think? What do you think? We're in it together because we're one. But I think that the bottom line decision, the reason that that male dominant patriarchy doesn't work very well among us is because a lot of our men don't have nothing. We don't have a house to put her in. We move in with her. So that we come under her roof, under her power, under her authority, doing everything she say, and then we come in talking about, I'm the man in this house. No, you're not. That's her house. But, if our men step up to be responsible and start, creating the household to bring the woman in, because back in the day, we used to come get the woman out the house, out of her parents' house in many cases, and bring her into our house. But now we try to find a woman to live and be up under. We looking for some type of knight in shining armor to take us away, to save us from the dragon. And I think that's ridiculous. So that's my opinion.
Okay, bro.
All right. Great point. I'm gonna pick up on one of your points here. In a second, but I think Nikki's about to call next. Sister Maya, did you want to go ahead and answer Psycho's question?
Yes, can he answer one more time? I'm sorry.
I asked, was it possible for somebody to hold a position that they want to hold a position that they want a matriarchy, but still have a strong black man? Is that possible?
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, I remember now. And I guess that is very possible. And the reason why I say that that's possible, and I think that we have all the time in black households, if we really think about it, black women have never really been meek or mild, to be honest. Even through when I think about in history through matriarchy, even though we were strong and forceful, our strongness never demasculized our men. What we did never belittled our men. Are doing great things back then, I guess, for some reason, never seemed to diminish what the black man did. Now, a black woman doing great things, if you're doing something great, they'll try to make you think you're shitting on the black man. Once upon a time, we didn't have those problems, so it really wasn't like that. But it's a lot of strong black women who meet strong black men, and they come together. If they're smart enough and can think about the future of their great-grandchildren and think about revolution, I think it can definitely work. But if you have those two people coming together under the mindset of this cracker, of this beast,
it's definitely not going to work because you can't belittle the man. You can't demasculate the man. Think that you being, sometimes sisters, excuse my language, think that being a bitch is being, you know what I'm saying, a strong woman. They think that being a nasty bitch to the black man makes them strong. You know what I'm saying? And they really have that confused. So you definitely need to have a balance. And I don't think
those are little boys.
I really don't think it matters. Mm-hmm.
No, I was just saying those are little boys. Actually, they're not men, but yeah.
Right. So I don't think that if a black man is really confident in who he is, he really welcomes a sister like that. Really strong black men want a sister like that. They don't want no weak ass sister who gonna sit. They don't want that. So yes, I think it could definitely work out if they have a common goal in mind. I think it can.
I agree that. But well, you do have some guys who want very submissive women. But you do have guys out here who appreciate strong women. But
real brothers.
But then you're gonna have a fight for power, don't you think? Because a man is always going to want to be a man. He doesn't want to feel like he's being emasculated, you know. So and you know, if you got a strong woman who's doing her thing, you know, probably have, you know, let's say she has a really good job, you know, car, everything else, you know, she's bringing in more money than him. She's bringing in more money than him and everything else. And if he's a strong black man, eventually he's going to start feeling probably insecure. And then it's going to end up being problems in the relationship because then they're going to start bickering back and forth and everything else because there's going to be animosity there. So that's why I don't think.
I'm a woman, and that has happened to me before, and that is true with me. It happened, but those was with some weak ass men, and I really wasn't with them long, and I seen it coming. That's some weak shit, to be honest. You're gonna have those men that you get mad because your sister, your woman winning. If I'm winning, you winning. We winning together. That's how you look at things. And you know what else I think is important? Your environment. Where I come from, shit is so fucked up. If you lucky to find somebody who's willing to work with you and get up out of this shit, you lucky as hell. You better hold on to them and make it happen together. Because food, clothing, and shelter is the most important thing. People can talk shit all day long online. But food, clothing, and shelter is the most important thing for revolution of black people. Okay? And when you're hungry, you don't give a fuck about that strong shit. Who's running? Nigga, I'm hungry. I want something to eat. Nigga, can you feed me? My baby needs diapers. Can you clothe them? My son needs shoes. So reality sets in. We have all kind of opinions because we're strong-minded people. But when reality sets in, if you have sense, you will throw that shit out the window and work with your man. You will work with your woman to make sure your children.
Of course, yeah. Okay. No, I thought you was done.
Hold on. Let me let Sister Gabby get in there if you want to answer, and then I want to answer as well. Go ahead, sis. 803. Okay. If you were talking, your line muted, but I seen her on the line. But okay. Well, I'll go ahead and answer. I think that I think it just still to me comes back to balance, because I think in being a strong black woman, and I know that's cliche, you still don't want a weak man. You know, you still don't want somebody, who can't stand up when they need to stand up, who has no backbone, who, just yes for everything or never questions anything. I don't think a truly strong woman I can't say that for everybody, but I don't think a truly strong woman would want a matriarchy, for real. And when I say matriarchy, I don't mean in terms of where the woman is making a lot of decisions, but I mean more so where the woman is just, everything. She's just over every single little thing. I don't think most strong women probably want that. They want an ability to have, power dynamics in a relationship, but that's also in accordance with having a strong black man as well. I think you could have both. I think you can have, if people do choose to have a matriarchy and still have a man that's strong, because strong doesn't always mean that. Strong can be a supportive role. Strong can be maybe every little thing you don't talk about, but you pick your battle. And when it's something important or something that really needs you to step up, you're there to do that. But maybe not every little thing that happens, you're dealing with it. Maybe you let your woman or the woman handle a lot of those things. So I think the man can still be strong and be in that type of environment or that type of relationship as it being a matriarchy. And him not just being totally, as people will call, a simp, or totally somebody who just cowers down to women. I think you can do both. And it kind of goes into the idea of the submission thing, which is what I want to talk about too. And so in my opinion, submission is earned. It's not given. And unfortunately, I feel like with some of these brothers who do push this patriarchal stuff on social media, that they just want, basically they want a dog. They don't want a woman. They want somebody who they can tell what to do. Here's when you eat, here's when you drink, roll over, this when I'll take you out for a walk. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They want somebody, they want a child basically too, somebody they can tell what to do, versus somebody that they can work with and build with. Because this is my thing. A man, just because he has a penis and he has testosterone, does not make him right on everything he says.
I agree.
That doesn't make him accurate on everything he said. So my thing, that's why I come back to the balance thing, because let's say, you know about something, like let's use directions. They always talk about men who don't want to ask for directions. So y'all going somewhere on a road trip or whatever, and you know where y'all going. You know what direction it is. But your husband or your man is saying, no, it's this way, and I'm gonna go this way, and this and that. Now, why would you refrain from telling him that just to stroke his ego? Because you feel like, or possibly he may get threatened if you say, no, this is the right way to go right here. Actually, you need to turn left, da-da-da-da-da. And some of these guys feel threatened by that. Like, they feel threatened that, hey, I might not be accurate on something, and the woman might be accurate. So I feel like, why not go with the woman in that case if she knows the right way to get there? Why does it have to be that a woman should just submit, and if this is the way the man wants to go, even if it's wrong, that's the way he's going to go? And don't speak up. And I know that may seem like a, not a really good example, but there's that kind of thing. I think it's depending on what the situation is, who knows more about the situation, or who's accurate versus who's inaccurate, instead of it just being about, well, because you have a penis and testosterone, that means I should just stroke your ego. No matter what you say is right. No. That's ridiculous to me. And part of that is because I think some of those guys are insecure in their own manhood. So it's like, well, damn, if a woman come along and she's saying, hey, well, this is actually how it is, and that threatens them. That makes them feel like they're less than. And I know some guys say, oh, that ain't true. Ain't nobody insecure. It's just women talk back and women do this and do that. That's why I said, do you want a dog or a woman? Do you want a child or a woman? A woman has wishes, hopes, and dreams of her own. She has thoughts and feelings and emotions of her own. She has different things that she wants to do or not do. And she's not just somebody to sit there and dictate. I'm sorry, go ahead. She's not just somebody to be dictated to. And I feel like that's what some of these guys, like, a woman's purpose is just to serve you. A woman's purpose is just to stroke your ego. This is what I run into a lot on social media with these clowns that I sometimes debate or whatever. They have this twisted mentality that just because we on a damn social media site together, on the Google Hangout, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, that because I'm a female, they're a male, that I should submit to them. You're not my damn man. Why the hell am I submitting to random? Should I submit to random men on social media?
See, and those
like literally, it's been guys who told me, "I'm gonna make you submit."
Yeah, and see, those are the guys.
Stop challenging. It was a dude who went around for the longest and she challenges black men. She argues with black people. Well, if you're wrong about it, yeah, you damn right. What am I supposed to just say? Well, he is a black man, so I'm not going to tell him that it's actually you should go left instead of right.
Yeah, like see, like those guys that you're talking about, those are the guys. The guys that you're speaking about, those are the guys that give patriarchy a bad name because they because I don't view it as that. Like that's why I said, like, as far as like the social construct and how society should move, I think we should move as far as like egalitarianism, as far as like the workplace and, you know, social construct and everything else. But as far as individual households, I think it should be, you know, it should vary according to whatever situation each couple is in, you know, because you have passive guys. You have passive guys that don't know how to take charge. They need a person. They need a strong woman. They need somebody who's going to take charge and take things by the reins because they are incapable of doing it. So they need that, you know what I'm saying? They need to live under a matriarchy. Where you have, like I said, you have the strong guys who you know how to take charge, who needs to take charge in order for them to feel like a man, you know, because, you know, again, they don't want to be, you know, emasculated, you know, so, and they need more of a passive female sometimes. And I'm not saying that a strong guy and a strong female couldn't survive. It's just they're going to knock heads a lot. It's just a personality thing, and you know they're going to knock heads, and that's just what's going to happen. But if y'all two are both strong enough to understand, and like some people can make it work or whatever, but again, the best situation is probably to find, if you're a real powerful personality, the best thing to do is probably to find somebody a little bit more passive and not somebody. They don't have to be weak, but they're definitely not as strong-minded as you. I definitely don't think that's a good match.
Let me say this and then hold on. Let me say this and then I open 253. Family, if you're listening online on the Blog Talk, not on YouTube, but on the Blog Talk site, you're going to get cut off in 90 seconds. Really about a minute. You got a minute to call in, or you won't get to hear overtime. So the calling number is 319-527-6058. 319-527-6058. Also, if you're listening via YouTube and you do want to comment, you have to call in the next minute in order to be able to comment live. You can stay on the YouTube link and listen to the rest of the show there. But yeah, if you, like I said, if you want to actually speak on the panel, you have to call in 319-527-6058, 319-527-6058, and make sure you press 1. Okay. And let's go. 253, which I know who this is. It's Brother Knowledge for our live. Peace, Knowledge.
Peace and Black Power. What's going on, guys? Renee, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I know I heard Sister Matriarchy and Benny. To my sister. Back love to you, sister.
Peace, Brother Knowledge.
Oh, brother.
Hey, he Quanice in the building. I already know it's all right. I heard a question going on, or a topic for
Can you
tonight.
speak up just a little bit more? And I think somebody got some, if y'all got your YouTube thing in the back, you may want to mute some or mute it. Go ahead, Brother Knowledge.
I know the question was matriarchy or patriarchy, which one is good for black people. And the brother who was just speaking, I didn't catch the brother's name who was just speaking.
Who was just speaking? Oh, it's Brother Psycho. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Peace, Brother Franco.
Black Power.
When you about African egalitarianism. Me as an African liberator and an advocate for all things African. Historically, that's how we dealt as a society. But before we get to a society, us having an understanding as African people, we don't have family, we don't have anything. This is our functionality as a family. Our family.
Let me pause you real quick, Alex. It's still some feedback from some of y'all. So y'all might just want to check your line and mute it. Go ahead, Brother Knowledge.
Okay. Our functionality as African people in regards to our family is our foundation. And if we was to have such thing as a religion, it would be our family, because everything that we see without in the society is a reflection of our family's righteousness or our family's inability to harness that African power. So when we're looking at this functionality in regards to America, this adoption of this European value system model is where we come to head in regards to even a such thing as a separation of powers between the divine masculine and feminine. We function together optimally without separation. We have functioned that way for millions of years until this brief period of interruption of the 6,000 year period or more, so depending on who is doing the calculation. We have always been together and functioned together. So, indiscriminate to invasion or interruption, when we start to look at our family, when we are at our highest point, we are at our highest point together. So African egalitarianism is a shared situation where which the edification for one another, we place value on the contributions, roles, and responsibilities of everyone in the family, the woman, man, and child, and children, I should say. You see what I'm saying? Because these things become what is the future of tomorrow and how tomorrow looks based on our family design. So if we can do this deduction away from this European labelism in regards to what matriarch is, what patriarch is, and all of this, and just be African with one another and learn what that is, and remember and reestablish and reorganize, I think we'll be in a better place in regards to who we are. I agree with the warrior class, but there's some sister warriors that I've been in war with that have put some brothers to shame. You understand what I'm saying? So in regards to terminology, we can't get into the categorization situation where which we use a European litmus to go into the space and place in which we begin to have an understanding, a holistic understanding of African life. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for that. Brother Knowledge, do you have on an earrings or anything?
Nah. They don't like me talking on their show.
Yeah, I'm about to check the mic. So if you hear me mute the mic, I'm just trying to find out where the feedback is coming from. Let's see.
Hey, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. In regards to a man with the man about the women, it's all about control. You look at most of the dudes on social media, either they're religious fanatics or Israelites or whatever. It goes back to Eurocentric behavior, that they have dominant control over someone they consider weak. That's not how we operate as we truly are African people, We always operate in a sense of harmonious balance, where there is balance between male and female. But at times, one is not overpowering the other, So, the men or the boys, like we want to call it, they that sit there, take on that thinking and pathology. They go try to look at any woman, the ones that have intelligence or the ones that what they want to consider, outspoken. They go look at them as combative because they want to control. At the end of the day, it's always about control. If I can control you and feel I can over dominate rule you, you have no use to me. You're a friend to me. process. Same for women, and we lost that majority of our people here in the Western region, and we need to reclaim that because the way how we operate now, we operate in an off-fashion, off-balance state of mind and action in a very much twisted, corrupt system. And the system, it's just like this. They profitize off, disorder like this. They put commercial ads and they persuade people to say, oh, you have relationship problems, you get yourself a nice Indian, Asian woman. They're more docile, they're more like this. Get yourself a woman like this and that. You don't have to worry about the kind of black woman. Like with the black woman. And it goes, in fact, it causes more disorder, because we're not really at tune amongst ourselves, and as a race of people, that's how I see it. Hope I was clear.
Hey.
Yeah. Actually, Brother E, I think that shed line. And let me bring in 717. I think that's actually. Did I hear it anymore?
What'd you say, Renee?
Hello?
It's still some feedback somewhere. So, again, if y'all have your YouTube on, just mute it or just mute your line. But I don't think so. I think it was Brother E's line.
Yeah. I don't hear it anymore.
I don't hear it anymore. So let me bring him back in and see.
That's not my line because I'm not on the YouTube feed, unfortunately.
No. I'm not saying that. I was hearing the YouTube feed, but I'm saying the feedback. Talk, Brother E.
No, I'm done. I hear roughly.
Okay, go ahead. 717. Pete, what's your name? Where you coming from?
This is Brother Afro-Pig, calling from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Afro-Pig, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm disappointed that I don't call it enough for my number to be, or area code to be recognized, but that's my fault.
I thought it may have been you, but, I've been wrong before.
I've not been as supportive as I want to be to a show that is vital to the communication process in the black community, as your show has become. And this is a very important topic. This is what I hope that you pay to do, and on a cyclical basis, because this is a definite power struggle in the black community. I have heard that the black American woman in our community wants all the power, all the money, all the respect. Now, I have, from my own personal experiences, been in a loving and respectful relationship that you did not communicate. Okay? So, I've enjoyed a positive relationship with a black woman, black American woman, that love was 100% on each side. And I think that is the thing that made my relationship different from relationships that I think are not nourishing and good for our people. So, I was debating on which way I wanted to go. Unmuted. I think that often the white man has set things up to where the black woman wants to be elevated above the black man. Okay. Even with the double thickness platform high heels you got on there. Okay? I mean, it's going to raise you up to the skies. You got to be higher than that thing. Okay? But we also got a lot of brothers who are not doing manly things. Okay? Which is a very sad part of it. They're not doing manly things. So they want to sit in the big chair and get the big piece of chicken without doing some work. Lots of work. That's the damn problem. And we don't have common goals. Black man and black woman does not have
rule, a common goal. That's why our community is dysfunctional. Okay, so I'm going to borrow from your analogy, Mr. Renee. So you got a car, you driving down the road, going highway speed, and you come to what is a Y in the road. Okay? So you're going to have to go left or right. The present day relationship is where two people are fighting for control and they don't have a common direction that they want to go. So you may think you're right on the left, you may think you're right on the right. And you're like, you're coming up to that fork mighty quick. You have to make a decision. You have to come together. The current day relationship is just to turn the wheel to the left. The other one, the person in the driver's seat going to be turning the wheel on the left side, is going to turn to the left, or on the right side, go to the right. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to go into the wide, off the road, and you're going to crash. That is the present day black family. This funk. That's just how I see it. That's how I see it. I haven't lived that kind of life, as a rule. Okay? Unfortunately, all my relationships have not been perfect. But the majority of them have. So it's possible. It's possible, but it's very difficult. And I think the beginning is that it's not being taught by the mother and the father to the children how to be successful. Together. The system rewards breaking up the family. I think we're going to have to get rid of child support and alimony. I think that's the only way it's going to function. I really do.
Why should we get rid of child support and alimony? Why should we get rid of child support?
This is funny. Now, hold on. I believe that men.
And can you speak on Afro-Pig? Because people were saying you seem like you was kind of going in and out. And you seem kind of low to me. So can you speak up?
Can I be heard for something? Sound a little better.
Excuse me?
A little bit better? That's better as it goes.
A little bit, but if you can just speak up some.
Okay, hold on. Does this help at all?
A little bit.
Yeah, I just have a bad connection, and I can't call back in.
Yeah, you sound better. You can't call back in.
I can't call back in. I'm going to call back in. It can't get through.
Yeah, you can't call back in now.
Yes, I think we can hear you. I'm just saying you sounded low. And people said you were kind of seem like going in and out.
Well, I appreciate the feedback because I want to be heard. What I'm saying, I think, is important to be heard. Why should child support be ended? It should be ended. It should not be the first thing that happens. What we should have is a process that if we're not going, that the parents are responsible for raising the children. You got 50%. If you decide not to be together, in a marriage, it should be the child. You have dual custody. No money's exchanged because I think right now the system set up by the oppressor incentivizes the black woman to toss aside the black man in pursuit of whatever she may feel become financially from the breakup of the family. Okay, I'm going down to the white man and I'm going to get that money, nigga. That's what mine said. That's what mine said. Okay, so if we get rid of that, okay, you take care of the child 1 year, he takes care of the child 1 year. Okay, y'all can live next door to each other. You don't have to move across the state. You don't have to move out the country. You can do what is in the best interest of your child, which is often the last thought of the black man and dysfunctional black man and dysfunctional black woman.
all, like, Black women did not create this system. And that's something that always pisses me off when these particular guys that I'm talking about on social media, what they want to do is, they want, and I even think this in terms of the whole patriarchy conversation as well. They want to control Black women as a means to further try to control themselves under this system. In other words, they go for the Black woman instead of going for the system itself that creates these policies. So instead of me dealing with who actually makes the laws and policies about child support, I'm going to go lower than that and just deal with the woman who she's a victim of child support in the same manner. She's a victim of the system in the same manner. She doesn't have a power to change the policies within child support. So why are you trying to target her to get her to not report or not do whatever it is that you have to do? You trying to change her or do whatever instead of trying to change the system. And that's where my problem is. Why can't you do both in terms of addressing the system as far as who makes the policies and everything under the sun? On top of that, try to establish, and I know some of these women are crazy as hell, but to try to establish healthy relationships with your baby mama or whatever, so that you can maybe handle things on a different level. And then here's the big one. Why isn't there more focus on what happens before instead of what happens after? Because look, we are in at the information age, right? And being in the information age, all these brothers hear about child support 24/7. So if you hear about it and you know about it, why do so many brothers still keep getting in these same traps? Why do so many of these sisters still keep getting in these same traps? You already know this dude got however many children that he does not take care of, but you don't still have a baby with him. Hold on, please. You still gonna have a baby with him and think that somehow your baby is gonna change everything or whatever. And then the same thing with the guy. You knew damn well you didn't want to be with this woman, you didn't want to marry her, you didn't want to have a life with her, but you're gonna do whatever it takes. You're gonna do, you know what it takes to have a baby with her. And then now you saying she's crazy, she's trying to put me on child support. I know that this stuff is set up against us, the deck is stacked, but people are talking about we got to have some personal accountability. What we do on some level when it comes to something like this, because the bigger problem is the lack of the family structure. To me, that's the bigger issue than it is the damn child support. Because you got to bypass the family structure before you can get to the child support. That's some of my problems with what you said.
Child support destroys the family structure. If you care about the Black man, Black woman, raising a Black child, you've got to destroy the outside influence called child support.
I'm going to say something in a minute. Let me say something. You know, it sounds good. I would say that it should be destroyed. But then again, because a lot of our people have been conditioned and the house has been broken too long, for over now 40 some years, that to break it, destroy it now, it's just opening it more of a mess hole. Because a lot of these dudes that's already Christian that don't want to marry most Black women and don't want to have nothing to do with their insurance, not all, but a good percent of them, that, you know, this is a great advantage for them. Because now they could continue with their lustful behavior and still screw every woman they see and then leave babies left and right. So I'm really sure, you know, this thing that's in place now, if it doesn't really keep some order to some of them, it's going to have to make some of them think twice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to think twice because I people, because they're not thinking. And this is what I have an issue with people, because our people are under influence with the system. A lot of people got to start cleaning themselves up. And when I mean clean, they got to start cleaning themselves up in all things that keep them pulling back. You know what I'm saying? One of the things I've started to notice with a lot of people, they need to get off these drugs and these alcohol and wherever they're on it right now, you know, because one thing I know, because I was reading a book on Melanin that said these drugs that they're on, it messes with their cognitive thinking. about he's taken influence with the help of music, of course, where they push the drug thing, where they try to say, they hit this bottle or hit this weed or something. Now it's trying to escape reality. And when that skip reality, now they're going to say, I want to live fast. Let me just go up here and just screw a bitch. You know what I'm saying? If she get knocked out, I don't care. But the point is this, that, to remove that, in our fractured community, which are, is kind of really asking more pain than we need already. Go ahead. You can speak, man. That's my.
This is what. Oh, I can speak. Okay, thank you. But this is what blows my mind. Is like, what blows my mind is like some of these guys Afro pick, some of these dudes, and I'm not saying all of them, but some of these dudes don't have no problem with screwing white women and all this stuff, right? But then when they get into child support, the white man trying to keep us down. See, the white man wants us to go and get child support. And she don't worry about, but you don't have no problem with no white man. See, then it comes about the white man. Then that's that stuff that I don't like. That's that stuff that
bullshit.
Ridiculous to me.
It's that bullshit. Really.
Can I get in and say something real quick? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, go right ahead.
This is Henry.
It's open for everybody. Just trying to make the night.
I got a problem with what the brother said, but not because of the reasons that you said, Renee. I think that what the brother is, it seems like what the brother said is being misunderstood. I don't think that what he is saying will tear the family apart. I think what he is saying is that instead of the brother sending money to a woman for her to raise the child separately, they should both take turns raising the child together, and therefore keeping the family unit together, at least as it pertains to the child, with both of them having an experience with each other, well, with the mother and the father. The problem, I think that's what the brother's saying. The problem that I have with that is that only works if both the mother and the father is worth parenting, because some of these people ain't got a pot to piss in. Some of these brothers ain't got a place to stay. Some of these brothers hooked on crack. Some of the sisters think they ain't right. So you just can't automatically create that type of situation. They both have to make sure that they're both good parents before that would actually work.
I agree, and I want to say something real quick about this too. What you were saying was the father raised a child one year. What kind of mess is that? So you mean to tell me you're going to be throwing your child off? Your child is going to be from year to year, changing from whose house they in, who's taking care of them from year to year to year to year. That's completely unstable for a child. Like, that child is going to have all types of behavioral problems and things, I'm sure, because they lack a stability. Even if it is a single parent home and they're being raised by their mother or their father primarily, at least that still lends them more stability than you living with your daddy this year and your mama the next year. And then here's the other thing. If you're going to sit here, I'll let you respond, but if you're going to sit here and 1 year the father raises, 1 year the mama, and you said they can live next door to each other. Now, why in the hell are you going to do all this stuff and you end up down there living with that person, but you wouldn't marry them? You wouldn't court the situation first. You wouldn't marry them and then have a baby. But you end up backwards, and you're supposed to be living next door now to the baby mama or baby daddy, and the child is going back and forth like a ping pong ball. Like, what?
Can I respond?
Is it not? I don't understand. Would it not be a easier? And I know, things happen, the heat of the moment, like all that. We get that, we adults, but come on. It still needs to be more accountability taken than just coming and blaming the damn child support system. Go ahead,
Hey, can I say, I'm going to say Renee, let me get this there, brother. Okay, because my name was used as you tied it to having sex with the white woman. Now, another brother stepped in. People still got Afro picks the white woman. Now, I want to say something as I get to this living, doing what is best with the interest of the child by being raised by the mother and the father. Some white brothers out here are with white women, and they feel that they don't have to raise white women. They say they know they got this.
You know, someone will laugh you in your face when you make that statement. Real women will laugh in your face when you make that statement. You know that? Me as a man hearing that sounds ludicrous. So I'm getting back to the white man because it's like that movie. Let's say, you know, I'm getting back to the white man at what he does to us for 40 years. What's that? Fucking them. I said, you can't get back at no person by fucking his women. You get back at the person head on. Straight.
And the white woman is the person. She is the person. She's just as much white supremacy as the white man. But go ahead.
Exactly. But
Afrobeat.
But you know what? No, hold on now. Sometimes, you know, it's a payback too, because you saw a man Dingo, what you called the buck upstairs. He was running deep in it. Got pregnant. Okay?
Oh my goodness.
He was mad. But I don't want that to be the topic of the show. I just being bad. Just Renee connected my name to that. I felt the need to address. That's the only reason I brought it up. Okay?
Connected your name. I didn't connect. I'm just saying, like, I didn't say you. I said some of these guys will talk all this. They'll screw a white woman in a heartbeat, and they'll be the first one to let them get on some child support stuff, especially with a black woman. And then the white man. See, the white man is this and that. But the white man, but for these white women though, and now it's the white man. Now you understand white supremacy so much when it comes to child support with a black woman. But anyway, I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying, you know.
No, I just heard my name.
But
I heard my name got that. But let me finish now on destroying the child.
Go ahead, be concise, Afro-Pig. Go ahead and get to your point, because I want to get everybody else who want to comment.
In order to save the black family, we must destroy child support in this present day. We must do it. Okay? The black women have got to stop looking to the great white daddy. Beat the black man. Beat him. Beat him. Beat this white man. Beat him. They can give me that money. We've got to stop that. Okay? Black, you care about the black child. You've got to stop. Now, why did I say that the parent is ready? First of all, we got to have one parent in charge. Okay? I'm sorry, one parent. Both of you parents, birth your child, both of you start out as having the custodial responsibility for the child. Okay? And if you can't agree to that, then you can ask for 1 year me, 1 year them. Now, you as a single parent make a choice on how you want to raise the child. Because that's my child. I have a right as a father to raise my child. I don't need a white man's permission. Stop going to the white man and making him say, well, I ain't got permission to raise your child.
Now it's about the white man.
You ran down there, black woman. You ran down.
Go ahead and get to your point, Afro-Pig. Yes, please. Just go ahead and get to your point, please.
So the point is,
your phone is just going up and down, like it's low and it's higher. But let's get to your point, please.
We should be raising our children. We can do it together. We can do it apart. But if we need to live next door to each other, where the child walks out one door and walks from mommy's house to daddy's house, that's stability. He has us both in his life together. That's stability.
That's not no damn stability.
That's not no village.
Listen.
How is that stability? That you going from house to house? Okay.
The knowledge that daddy's next door, mommy's next door. That is stability. Daddy and mommy can be together. Okay? Daddy and mommy.
But they're not together.
Weird ass new age white people shit.
Okay.
Why do you want to just get rid of child support? You sound real scared. Just get rid of the white man. Get rid of his system completely. All you want to get rid of is child support. You think if they stop child support, they still gonna be doing the same thing to black people that they doing. That's not gonna change nothing. You scary as hell. You pick the most leastest thing to think about.
That is the most least that's what you're to be honest, you're just really weak and you don't really have an argument. You just want to talk, you just listen. Because I don't see how any black man today, with how they killing black men, your argument is child support, my God.
Just like for a lot of us, weed too. Weed and child support is killing the black man.
Yeah.
Weed and child support is that's the biggest thing. Of course, I'm talking about they win.
Can I say something?
Then I'm talking about a segment.
That's some weak shit.
Can I say something real quick?
I'm not talking about all black men. I'm not talking about all brothers.
Can I
But
say
for some
something?
of these guys, the biggest issue that black men have facing them right now is hair weaves and child support. Don't worry about mass incarceration. Don't worry about everything else. We being poisoned. Don't worry about unemployment. Don't worry about miseducation. Don't worry about none of that stuff. Food deserts and all of the other health things. Don't worry about none of that. It's weed and some damn child support. That's what's killing black men right now.
Can I say something real quick? Can I add in?
As I'm going down,
go ahead.
It's not about my child. My child. It's not that. Come on, with that power.
You had a lot of time to try to talk and make your point. I asked you to get to your point. Go ahead, Equani.
Well, this is the thing, sis. When you described both in definition earlier, you said two things that they were tied to, and that is lineage. And as we are speaking about lineage, definitely we don't think that's why it is important to know who you are, so you'll know who it is appropriate to mate with. So your children will look like you. Your children will look like your grandparents, and you will keep that lineage strong rather than start to deviate. And like the brother was saying, well, now brothers are finding some reason to have sex with white folks, and now you are diminishing your lineage. And as we go back to Africa, I think we understood that even though us as men, we planted the seed, and we do know that we played a lot to do with the role in the creation of the baby, but the mother had the majority of the role to do. She had the most to do with that role, as she is the throne. When we look at Set in ancient Kemet, she is the throne. Basically, she is the vessel for life, be it man or woman, be it little girl or little boy to come through. And when we're thinking about the importance of the womb, you understand? I think we talked earlier about equal rights, and definitely that's something good. But we get to the point where, I think where with this thing, a lot of our women might have forgotten who they were, and forgot that they did have a duty to nurture. You understand? And also where our men forgot who they were, where they forgot that they had a duty to protect the queens. You understand? And to also nurture as well. And it was a shared responsibility. So now, because our family is so separated, our family is so unbalanced, we have to definitely find balance. And hopefully we will look at restoring that balance according to how our ancestors did so in a successful manner. We can say, well, hey, what'll work? I think we're discussing a problem. And right now, with our marriages failing so badly, we have the stats to prove that, shows that, y'all can take a little advice. Pretty sure you guys can name out, I know I can name out some bad relationships that I've been in, and I can say, well, hey, I might have needed some advice, and maybe we should render some advice to some little boys and little girls that may potentially be making the same mistake. So like when you said lineage, that was something that stood out to me, because looking at the mother, she is the seat, or she is the throne in which all, children, everybody comes in. I think Sarah Susan said, everybody has a navel. Everybody has a navel, meaning you were cut from an umbilical cord, that comes from the mother. So I think it is very important not to diminish
myself as a man, but definitely I'm going to pay homage, and this is with my queen right here in the bed right beside me. I'll bow down to her, and as well as I look for her to be submissive and bow down to me. It's a shared responsibility where we want to do that equally, you know, in order to, you know, and I feel like this is something we should do on all walks of life, whether it be economic, spiritual, you understand, and in order to bring my into our civilization.
Right. Let me get because Psycho been let me get Psycho and I'm gonna open the phone back up. And then 757, you can go next.
Unmuted. So we just discussed that real quick.
Hey, Psycho, there you go.
Yeah, peace.
Unfortunately, we do have to
hello?
dismiss you for now.
Hello?
Hey, y'all, hold on. Go ahead, Psycho.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in about the whole child support thing. I actually think that it's important to bring that up on some aspects. I wouldn't go as far as what the other brother was just going, whatever his name is, Afro Pick, but I definitely think it's an issue. But I think he's pointing the finger at the wrong person, because if he knew, it was actually the welfare system that actually forced women to take child support out on men, and also forced them to get them out the house on certain aspects. You know, they used to I don't think they do it anymore, but I know they used to like travel to families' houses and make sure that the woman didn't have the man living there with them, or else if they did find the man living there with them, then they was going to get sanctioned. And you know, of course, so you know, they used to still do it and try to, you know, get around that and everything else. But the whole white supremacist system that was put into play is what actually broke up the black family, and also forced a lot of these women did not want to put these guys on welfare. I mean, and let's just be real, it's not like a lot of these women are even getting paid a whole lot off welfare. I mean, off child support, because a lot of these guys don't have jobs, and they only have to pay like $20 a week, if that, you know. So it's not like these girls are really caking. But see, on the opposite end of that, a lot of this stuff is putting guys in bad spots, though, because a lot of these guys are who can't afford to pay these little child support payments are getting locked up and everything else, and it's making it harder for them to actually find work in order to pay for these. Like I know some brothers who's in some bad spots because like, you know, the child support's asking them to do stuff that they are incapable of doing, and they have all these years of back child support and everything else, and they get locked up. They lose their job because they got locked up for not paying child support. So now they get out of jail. They gotta spend, like, let's say they gotta spend like 3-4 days in jail. They get out of jail. They done lost their job now that they had, that they was trying to pay the child support with. They done lost that now because they done locked them up for the child support. So now he's asked out, and he gotta go try to find another job. That can probably take forever. So I understand both sides of this argument. Child support is definitely needed, and because some aspects, but I also agree with somebody said in the chat where I don't think women should abuse it. I don't. I think. And,
are they going to?
Well, some.
I don't understand that thing about abusing it. How do you abuse it? Because, and then I want to give y'all this breaking news. But how do you abuse it? How do you abuse it when, like, for instance, some of these dudes, and I'm not trying to clown nobody or anything, but I'm sorry, but some of these dudes, let's say they working at Foot Locker. Ain't no woman gonna get rich off of your damn Foot Locker, part of your Foot Locker check. Like, these dudes really in a dream world sometimes. Like, you know, she trying to get that money. She trying to get. Dude, if you have a child, and this is, you know, I don't know how they calculate it or whatever, but let's stop acting like, those things stop acting like they got money, like, I don't know, Rick Ross or somebody, and she trying to get some millions off of them, and she trying to live off of them. You can't live off no Foot Locker check. Like, let's keep it funky, not in these times.
No, I agree.
I'm not saying that there's no women that don't.
those wasn't the those, that wasn't the situation I was really talking about when I was saying abusing.
That money's not even going to the child. A lot of these people owe the system because when you have a baby, that's very expensive, and the average person, even with a job, can't afford to pay for it. So Medicaid pay for it. Therefore, when your baby daddy pay you child support, it's going back to the state. Ain't neither one of y'all getting the shit for real.
And that's true. That's very true.
To get to a certain point where people who do work and that money does go to the child. I know some people who both of their parents working and somebody is paying child support. That shit ain't even really enough. You know what I'm saying? I know people who actually work together. I know a sister, to be honest, who when she gets child support, she gives some of it back to her baby daddy because that's just something that they worked out together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's the individual. That's why I say you have to have common goals with people. Because if your goal is to raise a child, it doesn't matter what you and this person is going through. You're going to do everything you can. You ain't going to need a white man to tell you anything. You're going to do everything you can to take care of that child.
Now
that's what people always talk about.
Let me specify.
It shouldn't even get to that point.
Let me specify.
The man that you say you are, child support shit, you shouldn't even get to that point.
Let me specify.
You want to be so fucking righteous and act like you know so much. Well, how do you get to this point then?
Let me specify. Let me specify. I want to specify.
You believe anything you just said.
Well, I want to specify when I said the women that abuse it, I was talking about more middle class, the upper class women who actually abuse it. But because in the beginning I specified that, you know, a lot of these women in the hood that's, you know, lower class as far as like, you know, economics or whatever, they are forced. They're actually forced to go and put in child support papers on their baby fathers. They actually, like the welfare systems and everything else, force them to do that. So, and like I said, they don't get paid a lot. They don't get paid a lot at all because most of these guys can't afford the paper so much. So, yeah.
It's not right. And I know you didn't mean it like that. I was just speaking in terms of what I've heard different guys say about child support, about how she getting this money. Like, as if a woman can quit her job and quit everything. I'm living out this Foot Locker check, girl. They send me 33% of his Foot Locker check, girl. I ain't got to work no more. Yeah, girl, I'm paid. Let's go out and work. I mean, come on. You know, people are really good. But hold on, y'all. I want to tell y'all this. Hold on. Please, hold on. You believe that? Excuse me?
If you believe what you just said, that sister, before you believe what she just said, you're descendant of child support, so why are you fighting to keep something that is really a little benefit? Why? Because you like that relationship with the slave master and his sister. That's why.
Also, Pig, sit down.
That's not a valid point at all.
Let me read this. Anyway, you like the relationship with her. But see, I'm going to just say this, and like what Sister Maya said. Now, all of a sudden, y'all be the same ones who ain't saying nothing for real about no white supremacy, about nothing. All of a sudden, when you get on child support, especially with a black woman, then all of a sudden it's the white man, it's white supremacy. Now you care. Now you have concern about it. And like she said, why not destroy the whole system? Why you just talking about child support? It's a whole system. It's built on a whole system of genociding the black community. But you want to pick off child support, and then you still don't even really want to deal with that. You just want the woman to change. You want the woman to minimize your situation instead of dealing with the system to minimize your situation. That's what I don't like. You just want her. Don't go to the man on me, but you ain't gonna deal with the man straight up. Anyway. Let me read the story. And I know that it's not as easy as that. Let me say that. And I'm not talking about all brothers. I'm not at all. I'm not. You know, and I know it's not as easy to say, oh, we're going to go change the system and it changes. I know that doesn't happen like that. But what I mean is I see consistently so many of these dudes, again, I'm talking about this particular segment, who does all of this on a woman like it's her responsibility and it's her fault behind child support. And that's just not true. Men have a choice of who you put your penis in. You have a choice not to wear condoms. You have a choice in that matter. If a woman put a gun to your head and forced you to have sex with her, then you need to go report that. And I don't know how you can have an erection if that's the case when your life is threatened. But if that happens, honey, you need to go somewhere and go to the police or whatever you need to do. But in times otherwise, you chose to have sex with her, and more than likely, let's keep it funky, you was like, dang, we ain't got to use nothing. We ain't got to use nothing. And say anything in the world to get you not to use protection. Keep it funky. Everything from, I wouldn't mind if we had a child. Men say all kind of things, okay? In the heat of the moment, they say all sorts of things, just like anybody does. But come on, brothers, y'all know that. And then after you had a situation, afterwards, you're like, damn, I hope she ain't pregnant. I hope she ain't pregnant. You know what I'm saying? But in that moment, you like, I'll go ahead, you know what I'm saying? I'll go ahead. Because you know you don't really want to be with her. You know you don't want to baby by that girl.
Like a fuck.
But you, basically,
they like those good kids.
Okay, let me.
All right, Renee, read the story.
Hold on. Oh,
Story time.
Yes, it's me. I don't agree with that whole ideal that Afro Pick brought up, because he's acting as though individuals who are out here, I'm only speaking in the Black community, have the resources to even acquire a place right next door to each other. Does he understand how that even works?
Afro Pick, you there?
I'm here. I mean,
I think you're trying to deal with like some ideal situation where everyone is like on a level playing field. Everyone has like, you know, the, I guess, economics or whatever that they need, and that space is available. Huh? What do you think?
You know why you have economics? Because
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I know why you're not comfortable. Some coffee got, yo. There might be some coffee got. Not that good.
Hold on, brother E, please, hold on. Hold on a minute. 1 second, let me. And hey, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with your phone. The phone goes low, and then it goes up kind of like normal, and then it goes low. Okay. It might seem like you're speaking too loud, but it will be where we could hear you better.
Let me say this, okay? Listen,
go ahead.
Listen, you had economics. You would have economics if we destroyed the system of white supremacy known as child support, because you would start fucking men that had the means to take care of his damn child instead of these hood niggas.
So wait a minute, are you trying to say that all Black women who have babies out of wedlock or whatever by Black men are the ones to blame for having babies? Because I thought it takes two to tango pretty much. So it's not like the Black woman got pregnant by herself. And it's some women out there that got pregnant by some, you know, pretty good, decent brothers that their relationship just didn't work out, and, you know, they broke up either amicably and they could get along and raise their children together, or they had a very bad breakup for whatever reason, and, you know, they just don't have that kind of chemistry anymore. So how is it, I'm not understanding how you're trying to say that Black women are out here fucking thugs and all this kind of stuff and producing babies. Where did you get that logic from?
They didn't have the means. Did you not say that? You said that.
Yeah. Just because someone has money does not mean that they are able, you said, live right next door to each other, even if they don't want to be like married or whatever. So how does that work?
What we have to start doing is changing the mindset. Today, the Black woman knows she can go to great white daddy and say, white daddy, take some money from him, or put.
She can't go to white daddy unless you put your penis in her and you put your sperm in her. She can't go to white daddy without those two things. So why not deal with the part that you can manage? This is what I don't see. Why not deal with the portion you can manage? The portion you can manage is who you have unprotected sex with. That's the portion you can manage.
And that's called practicing self-control. know, maybe they had a good relationship and they broke up for whatever reason.
Okay, so the first word out of black woman's mouth is, I'm going to the great white daddy to put you on child support. We've got
Come on, Afro-Pick, let's keep the fucking work. You don't think Afro-Pick is in the child support system. I mean, you're so passionate about it. What woman had told you, because that's what I want to know. You just said this. What woman told you, I'm going to the white daddy child support system? What woman told you that?
I hear women talk all the time because I care about the black people. I listen to you. And the first words out your mouth is not how I can save my marriage and raise my child with the father. Yes, I'm going down and get some child support. We know it's Renee. I need you, Sister Renee, to have a show, a telethon.
Oh, man.
Renee, we give you a reminder. You got 7 minutes. That's the show. If you want to read the Arc now, because these guys going to be long charge.
Man, no.
Not turning to the white man in his system. Stop it, black woman.
Hey, I gotta. Why don't you deal with the white man in his system then?
Can we go after all the white men that have child support that owe a whole bunch of people, black people, some child support money? Can we do that?
I want to stop it. I'm asking you as black women to support me to stop using a tool of oppression and destruction.
I'm asking you as a responsible black man to keep your penis in your pants until you actually are 100% sure and produce the child. That's all.
Y'all want to talk to me about dick? That's not the right.
This is why I always say, not all of us, but this is why I say our community is often reactive and not proactive. Because if you were not being reactive, you wouldn't have to be waiting to the whole child support issue. You would be speaking on being proactive to prevent going into the child support system. Because what is it, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of, or what is it? Y'all know what I'm saying. Worth a pound of cure or whatever. So you're trying to prevent. You're trying to prevent situation. And then this is the other thing. What about the child? What about the baby? Is everything just about what's convenient for the mother and father? What about what's best for the child? What's best for the child, in my opinion, is to have two parents together. We know that doesn't always happen. Life happens. Relationships break up. Different things go on. That's just being real.
You know what?
So in terms of a relationship that doesn't last or that breaks up, okay. So now within the compound, how are we going to make this the best scenario we can for the child?
When we get rid of child support, black women will work hard as hell to stay with that black man. Because that's where the money is.
That's bullshit. Why are you trying to imply that the black woman is the one leaving the man? What about the man leaving the woman? It happens both ways. So why are you always focused on the woman
babies on women? You're married to a woman, you having babies with other women and all kind of stuff, but you don't want to deal with that.
Who's the one that runs down the great white daddy and says, I want to be divorced? Is it the black man?
This great white daddy. So
it's the black woman.
How is it that you
step away from the white man and his tools of destruction to our family?
You go somewhere with that. Afro-Pick, please. Afro-Pick and everybody, hold on, please, hold on. Because I want to do this and time kind of got away from me. I'm sorry, y'all, but I want to give y'all this information. And we may have to just do, again, a two-parter on this. Maybe we can come back Thursday. But I feel like on Thursday we might be talking about this story. And this is a story, this is breaking news that just happened. Hate crime is suspected after a gunman killed 3 white men in downtown Fresno. Family, we better. Okay, Corey Ali Muhammad told his family there was a war going on between blacks and whites in America. On social media, he refers to white people. Man, hold on. This damn advertisement came up. Okay, on social media, he referred to white people as rebels. Earlier in the year, he posted a rap album on YouTube replete with violent, explicit, and racially charged lyrics, including referring to himself in one song as a black soldier. On Tuesday morning, police say Muhammad stalked the streets of downtown Fresno, fatally shooting 3 white men with a .357 revolver before surrendering to police. He allegedly shot at Allahu Akbar and expressed hatred toward white people and the government, according to Fresno Police Chief Jerry Dyer. Local authorities said they don't believe the attack was an act of terrorism, but are investigating it as a hate crime. If in fact he's lashing out at white people, white males in this case, that will constitute a hate crime, Dyer says. We believe it is a hate crime, definitely a hate crime. The chief said investigators don't believe Muhammad worked with anyone else in the attack, calling him, quote, an individual that is filled with hate, filled with anger, end quote. The attack occurred over less than 2 minutes, with Muhammad firing a total of 15 shots. Dyer said he surrendered to a responding officer without incident and later apologized to the chief. In addition to Tuesday's killings, police said Muhammad was suspected in the fatal shooting of a security guard, also a white male, last week. Okay, and it says Muhammad's father, Vincent Taylor, told the Times on Tuesday that his son believed that he was a part of an ongoing war between whites and blacks and that a battle was about to take place. The attack began at around 10:45 a.m. in the 300 block of North Van Ness Avenue. Within a few seconds, a second burst of gunfire was heard, then a third and a fourth. 16 rounds were fired in 4 locations, Dyer says. Who is Corey Ali Muhammad? After the shots were heard, Dyer says the driver of a PG&E truck arrived at the city police headquarters to report that a passenger had been shot by a gunman who had approached them on foot. After firing at the truck passenger, Muhammad walked west on East Mildred Avenue, where he came across a resident and opened fire, Dyer said, but missed his target. Muhammad then continued walking on Mildred and approached Fulton Street.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, family. That's it. That's the end of the show. I want to thank everybody out here for listening. I want to shout out Shorty Womp Womp. Let's see, Fave, Friend, Muchacha, Lashy for you. Let's see, who else? Delphia. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Delphia. I believe that's it. Let's see, Garwin's there. Who else was up in the chat? Chief, what's good with you? Shout out to everybody who joined. That's all I see right now. I can't go and scroll all the way up. Shout out to everybody who joined. Shout out to everybody for listening. We'll be back Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Renee. Shout out to Nikki for doing the show. Peace and Black Power. We out.